apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are to an Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me in effect as always. Starting off with my brother Brad with the ill low one with the 76ers fitted. What's going on, good brother?
What's good? Good. Happy to be back, man. Missed y'all past couple weeks, so happy to be here.
No doubt. My brother DJ Rec 1. I didn't even know if he was still here. You was starting to become Jerobi, man. Like, you was missing studios, all kinds of stuff. I didn't know where you been, man. It's good to see you again, brother.
Likewise, man. End of the fiscal year, man. Got us running like crazy, so you know how that go.
Bro, you know I totally understand. Eddie out of LA, Freed Styles. What's going on, good brother?
Sir. Yo, man, I'm good, man. Excited for this topic, bro.
Mm-hmm. All right, no doubt. We got my brother JR, the R&B rep. What's going on?
What's going on? Feel good to be here, man. Ready to get this conversation going.
Oh, he got the cup.
Yeah, y'all ready? Yes.
The red cup was, so, you know, I'm glad you're here today. Last but definitely not least, my little sis Porsche, who's on strike again this week.
Hey like, guys,
podcast. I don't do video no more. The price of the brick is going up.
No.
Right now,
oh my God. That's not it at all. I'm sorry. I'll be back.
Once to be seen, so we only get audio from Porsche until I get my money right around here with 5B. I saw what happened with the Buddy podcast. Money gets involved, shit gets funny. So as soon as my raise kicks in, I'm back in effect. Paying Porsche what she needs to get paid per week, so we can get her back up on here. Everything good with you, sis?
Funny.
Yes, everything is good. I'm good, glad to be here. I feel connected but disconnected, so I can't wait to get back on video.
Don't worry, Porsche, my check. I get paid tonight. We're gonna get you right. I know money. Like Lauren says, funny how money changes the situation. So
funny.
Went up.
That's funny.
I got you. Look, y'all already know me. Let's get right into it. Last week we did the show about MCs, singers, groups that we thought was gonna blow up, but for some reason they didn't. Today's kind of continuation of that, but this time it's groups, MCs, singers that we thought were gonna blow up, but didn't because they got locked up. You know what I mean? So we're just looking at MCs who, like, what would their career be if, you know, they didn't get knocked? And some of these people have been knocked numerous times. Like, one thing I do love about Google and Wikipedia, when it comes to things like facts, like, you know, court cases and things like that, I appreciate that. People are always like, yo, don't use Google. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just saying use it, but then get with an OG. Get with somebody who lived that situation and then pile that knowledge on top of each other. Don't just get the knowledge and then, you know, want to come debate one of us old heads on what went down. That's what I mean about Wikipedia and Google and stuff like that. But for getting things like court stuff, Wikipedia and Google is good. So I'm going to set this one off. If you play spades, nobody ever does this. This is the most horrible way to play spades. You just throw the big joker out there and just round up everything. But I would assume or hope or think that the majority of people up here have Slick Rick on their list as people who could have who were messed up by that. Couple of things about Slick, so we can all chime in on Slick. Couple of things about Slick for people may have not been outside. To me, Slick 85 is Lottie Dottie in the show, which are to me two of the hip hop's dopest songs ever. You know, easily. I mean, ever. Like Lottie Dottie in the show. Like if you're young and you don't know about them, please go do the knowledge and find out about that. So number one, a lot of times people start, when they talk about Rick, they start with the great adventures of, and I'm like, nah, y'all gotta dial it back 3 or 4 more years with Lottie Dottie in the show and give him his proper due with that. Number two about Slick Rick, he's the OG fashion boy for me, at least. You know, like we talk about Pooba with Low and Hilfiger and Jabos, but yo, the first time I heard about fashion and hip hop was your Valleys, you know, and the Kango, which was all Slick Rick. You know, so I know we love him for storytelling, but I don't think he gets enough credit. Again, at least for me, you know, it wasn't Run DMC's My Adidas, it wasn't LL Cool J with Troop, it was Slick Rick who was the first person to be like, damn, what's Valleys? You know what I mean? And all of that stuff. So we got that. Great Adventures of Slick Rick, 1988, 5 mic album, Teenage Love, Children's Story, Moment I Feared, you know, was tagged the greatest storyteller ever. You know what I mean? When I don't personally agree with ever being now, but at that time, I think Rick was one of the people, not saying he was the first storyteller, but he did it very well and everything like that. So here's the thing, I had to do all the knowledge because here's the thing that people got to remember too, when Rick got locked up, we didn't have the internet. You know, we didn't even have the source yet. We didn't have Vibe, we didn't have, right. So it literally was just the radio or kind of word of mouth, things like that. We ain't have no Rhapsody yet, or maybe we did. It's 89, so yeah, we probably had Rhapsody. But just saying that's why I had to kind of go do the research. So basically, Rick's mom in 89 hired his cousin to be his bodyguard. Eventually, they ended up firing him, and then the cousin tried to start extorting Rick and getting Rick robbed. One day, Rick went to his crib. It was bullet holes in his front door. You know, so Rick got the burner. Caught up with his cousin one day, let off some shots, hit his cousin, but he also hit an innocent bystander by that. So that's what happened with that. Then he pled guilty to 2 counts of attempted murder, and he served 5 years. 2 for the attempted murder, and then 3 for immigration problems, because for people who may not know, Rick is originally from London. So all of that hoopla. So he got locked in 90 and got out in 97. That, y'all, is an eternity in hip hop. 7 years, like, yo, 2 years in hip hop is an eternity. But 90, you know, you get locked in 90, 97, that's 7 years of being locked up and away from the game. He dropped the rulers back in 89. Russell bailed him out, and it was one of those quick bailouts, like, yo, we got 3 weeks, record mad songs. I actually like the rulers back. I think me and Rick are the only 2 people who like that album. I wasn't mad at it. A lot of people don't like the album. I didn't have no beef with it. The 3rd album, Behind Bars, came out in 94 while he was still locked up, and that's when they had the Warren G remix, and they were just trying to figure out where they could get Rick to fit in. And then the 4th album, The Art of Storytelling, dropped in 99, which Rick looks at as like, that's really his sophomore album, because that was the one he really got to do. But he had the song with Outkast, which was Bananas and everything like that. Then here's the thing I didn't even know. In 2001, he got locked back up because he was on a cruise ship coming back to the States. They locked him up because there's some law about if you're an immigrant but you got a case or got convicted of a felon that you get locked. So he got locked up again and spent another 17 months in jail. So that's the story of Rick. I just think Rick's career is probably the biggest one that was sidelined, because I really honestly think Rick's name might be in people's top 10s if he didn't disappear like that. You know what I mean? Because the Great Adventures of Slick Rick, to me, that's right up there with all the other people. Like, I won't say it's as great as Criminal Minded for me, you know, but it's right there with Criminal Minded, Paid in Full, Long Live the Kane, all those people who we talk about being a top 10 GOAT MC. His debut album was there. And I just think, yeah, like if he would have been able to, you know, be around through those eras and maybe be able to navigate it better. And you see how much respect everybody has for Slick Rick. You know, whether you see him like Ghostface, you know, him giving Ghostface the chains and everything like that. You can see Nas talks about Slick Rick all the time. Like, you see the influence he had on all these people, how much they love him, really just off of one album. So again, it's a what if, but I truly believe that if Rick wouldn't have been locked up, he would, I almost can say for sure, he would definitely be mentioned more as a top 10 rapper. Right now, I've never heard anybody put Rick in as a top 10 GOAT MC on their list. But I do believe if he wouldn't have got locked up, his career would have looked different. Bro, what do you think about Slick Rick?
I think one point like that you made, 1990 to 97, hip hop changed like 3 times throughout that period. You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy part. That's what really that really derailed, his career, because all of my favorites have been influenced by Slick Rick. Like when I think about it, like my favorites, like they'll readily admit the influence that Slick Rick had on them, and it was just unfortunate. I remember, cause like the album he put out in '97, I really liked that John. Like he had the song with Outkast.
Yeah, 99, the Art of Storyteller.
99, the Art of Storyteller. The joint with Raekwon, Frozen, that man, and it's like, damn, like we were missing out on this for 9 years, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I agree. That's like the holy grail of this topic right here. Like, because he's a legend still, you know what I'm saying? But a legend that could have been more if he didn't get locked up. It was like really unfortunate, you know what I'm saying, when you really think back, because like he was on a path to, like, just think about being able to influence so many people with really that one album, you know what I'm saying, and never getting a chance to really expound on that. So I agree, man. Like Slick Rick, like that's like the poster child for this subject, you know what I'm saying?
And again, like I said, with this joint, I wasn't mad at it at all. I love it setting off with King. I shouldn't have done it was my shit. Moses was dope. Mistakes of Women in Love with Other Men. It's a Boy, especially the Large Pro remix to It's a Boy.
Oh, so again, It's a Boy, damn. Yeah.
I don't know why it was so much. I enjoyed it when it came out. I enjoy it now. So I was shocked when a lot of people said they didn't like this album. But Rek, what about you? Hold on for a second. I'm gonna go to Rek. I'm gonna come around. Rek, what you got on Slick Rick?
I wrote some notes. He missed. Like Rel said, he missed that start of the new golden age. You know what I mean? And that was key from a standpoint of the production he could have got on new albums. Def Jam still moving forward. He could have been, running with the torch. We didn't get to see a proper handoff of him moving into that direction and saying, all right, here go the Ghostfaces, here go the Raekwons, the guys, the style kings of hip hop, so to speak. You know what I mean? We missed those possible collabos with maybe the RZA or whoever they felt like getting on the track. That's a long time, man. 9 years. That's a long time to not be around and then try to pick up the ball and keep it moving. And he did well, but it's like Rel said, it changed 3 times before he was able to get back in the lab and really come with something, good. Like the other 2 albums, they were dope, but I just think he missed those key years by being in and out of jail. It's sad. It's absolutely sad because, like you said, they give him his flowers, but it's like, damn, that's the true what if,
Right. And then the bad part was that it seemed like, and he said it was self-defense, but I'm like, yo,
it was self-defense.
If a nigga's shooting at me, when I see you, I got to shoot at you,
Right.
But I also think it's getting, hitting the innocent bystander and everything like that. Eddie, what's your thoughts on Slick Rick?
Yeah, man. I think really good points, man. I think he had the potential to at the very least, have a Kool G Rap type of career, because Kool G Rap managed to stay relevant. You know what I mean? He managed to stay relevant and reinvent himself, but he being more respected and everyone checked for him. Like when he had that what was it, the 456 album, and he had the Nas feature and stuff like that. So Slick Rick definitely could did that, and I mean in some ways he did that with the art of storytelling, but too much time had passed. You know what I mean? Like for him to get locked up, basically at the height of his career. You know what I mean? Like he was the highest he was ever going to be, and then he gets locked up. And to me, I think the album that I hear people say that they don't like as much as the Behind Bars. Like that's really the one. So
to me, that album was like one of those things, the post-mortem albums or whatever, what it felt like. Like, let's try to do something while he's, locked up, just put something out to keep his name out there type thing. So I feel like that's like, what happened with that situation. But yeah. All right, JR, what you think about Rick, man?
I agree with all y'all. Like, you know, come on, that's 9 years you out. Shoot, it's bad when you 2 years and you gone. And it that hits. And we talk about hip hop changed. You know what I'm saying? So it was like once Rick came back, it was like the new people didn't know him. So it was like you got to try to connect, and he didn't, because didn't behind bars he did some stuff with like Easy Mo B and stuff.
Don't get me lying on the album. The only thing I remember about that album is the Warren G.
The Warren G joint, yeah.
The Warren G joint.
I probably listened to that album once, never listened to it again, because it was almost like just trying to fish for something. You know, it's a record executive. Like, you got to get Rick out here. Who's hot right now? Warren G. Okay, let Warren do it. So it wasn't no synergy. Like, if this would have been 2000, would have been like, let him get with Pharrell. Let Timbaland do a beat for Slick Rick. Right. So it was almost just like grabbing at whoever was hot in hopes of that producer's name making Rick's name stay hot.
Right, because I know he did a couple of joints on that joint with Large Professor and Pete Rock. For sure.
Don't get me wrong. I actually need to look it up. Like
I know Get a Job is with Pete Rock.
He's right. It's Easy Mo B, Pete Rock, Large Professor on the bottom.
Okay, yeah, I knew that was. So I was thinking, like you said, Kill, they just threw them on there because they were the new hot. Not new, but they were the hot ones. So he was like, let's put him on there. But if he's in jail and he can't even promote it, it's like, what happens? It dies.
Yeah.
Like you can't even promote, you can't do nothing. Yeah, we can hear the music, but we want to see you. We want to connect to it, and you can't. So it's kind of like, all right, well, we go to the next one. You know what I mean? And this is '94. This is Illmatic. This is Ready to Die. This is like those albums. We're gonna pay more attention to those than this.
I'm looking at this now, and the It's a Boy remix is on here. Like, It's a Boy was off the last album now.
Oh, yeah, that was off. Yeah.
He put it on there. It's a Boy on there. So, yeah. Porsche, what about you, Slick Rick?
I mean, you guys all mentioned everything. I was actually going to say what Rick said. Basically, when you miss, these critical years when hip-hop's changing, like, it's hard to kind of get back into the limelight or just be on the radar and be that relevant again. So yeah, I think Slick Rick being in prison during that period was just detrimental to his legacy to a degree. But again, like Rel said, Slick Rick is mentioned on GOAT lists when it comes to like specific things, like storytelling, for example. Slick Rick will be at the top of the list. But yeah, as far as GOAT MCs, and I think, like you guys all mentioned, it's because of the discography lacking, right? The quality of the discography just wasn't as consistent throughout. So that's what, I definitely agree with all of you, and I echo what all of you have already said.
I got a question.
I think the hard part with Rick too was that he missed out on the real video vibe.
Mm-hmm. Imagine
that. Again, my years are gonna get twisted, but if you're getting locked in '89, Rap City may have just come out, Yo MTV, you know what I mean? Like he missed out on that era of being able to be seen on Yo MTV Raps and to be seen on Rap City and to be, because in that era of the 80s, all we had before Rap City and Yo MTV Raps, and not for folk in New York, but for folk in Philly, I don't know when y'all got Video Music Box, but all we had was Friday night videos.
Oh,
so we couldn't see the people. We couldn't see Run DMC just chilling doing an interview unless it's on American Bandstand or somewhere like that. So Rick missed out on the whole being able to now to hip hop to come into your living room. You know what I mean? And that's a huge piece to miss out on because, and then the only time we did see Rick and was in the movie, I forgot what movie.
The show. That's the question I was gonna ask.
So that's the other part is the first time we see Rick after seeing him like that is in jail. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I don't know if that was a good look. You know how some people be like, yo, I don't even want to go visit you in jail. I don't want to see you like that. Like we were forced to see Rick like that. You know what I mean? So I think that's a huge piece too that he missed out on too. Rel, who you got up first on your list, good brother?
All right, first I'm gonna go with somebody. This is like my foresight with this person, but I'm gonna go with Petey Crack, man. Petey Crack. Here's the thing, man. Like some people just got star power and just got it. and he was one of the people that had it, man. Like they put him on that Neo song. Now, as big an artist as Neo is, right? That first single, Petey Crack's on that single, and he's on it for a reason, and he killed it, and he contributed to the song. And right, he had his own style. He had everything, and he just could not stay out of trouble, man. He just could not stay. He couldn't stay sober, and he couldn't stay out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, it's messed up, man. And if you watch like recent interviews of him, he talks about it. Like, yo, I was on some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he had star power, bro. Like, he had it. No, you can't name nobody that you be like, yo, Petey bit his style from this dude. You can't. I can't think of him. He had his own thing, his own style, and you got to think about the way hip hop transitioned. Like, he might have been a little bit ahead of his time for the way like people started rapping later on. Like, he would have fit right in, but he never really capitalized on that jump start that he got. You know what I'm saying? So Petey, another one of our Philly people that, you know, messed his career up going to jail.
It's funny because me and Rel was talking. I said, dog, I got you talk about an all NBA squad. I got an all Philly squad. It's something about Philly MCs and the law. You know what I mean? And I had Petey as an honorable mention on my list because it was the jail and it was also the Rockefeller breakup, the state prop joint. But I will say this, for people out there who may not know about crack, listen to that mixtape right there. That joint right there, that's Welcome to Crack's House. 5 mic mixtape. Petey bodies this mixtape. He does everything on this mixtape because I'm with you, bro. I was like, yo, Petey up next, man. Like, because everything he did, that little ring thing he would do, like everything he would kill, whether it was the freeway joint when he jumped on beans, I got to have it, whatever you put Petey on. He was
have it,
bruh. I got to have it, bruh.
The joint with Twisted, that thing was crazy. Flipside was a monster, man. You couldn't go in Transit or Palmer's and not hear that. You could not leave out that. Come on, man. You already know.
Did you just say
bro? I grew up in South Jersey, man. All the DJs between Philly and Jersey are my fam. So trust me, I was on Strawberry Mansion real heavy, Club McDonald's and Delaware Ave. So I was outside. Stop playing. I was outside on 2 wheels or 4. You call it.
Right.
That's a good pick right there, bro. That's a good pick. Breck, who you got for your first joint?
I'm gonna go with the Wave Man, Max B.
Oh, that was.
I was late to the Wave, man. I ain't gonna lie. I got on the Wave in like maybe 2010. One of my coworkers he just kept screaming, Max B, Max B. And I'm like, yo, who is this singing long-haired dude that you keep trying to put me on? So one day I just took a minute. I said, yo, I'm gonna listen. And I was like, yo, okay. And the next thing you know, I start hearing this Purple City Bird Gang. I don't get down with them, but his whole style and aura has been plucked. And he's not gonna get it back. It's not gonna be a situation to where he can come back from it. Like, people have taken his whole situation and ran with it and even said it. You know what I mean? And it's sad because, you know, you have this thing, like you said, Petey Crack has this thing. Max B had the same thing. You know, it's almost like
School me on Max B. I know the name.
So Max B was from Harlem. Him and Jim Jones and Dipset, they were all together, but then they had a falling out, like a serious beef. Like, it was real. You know, it was gunplay involved. And long story short, Max B got locked up for a robbery that happened out in Fort Lee, North Jersey, right across the George Washington Bridge. Somebody died. Long story short, they gave Max B 75. They gave him 75. The other cat, they gave him life. It was a whole setup. They was robbing cats. They had females involved. Like, it was a whole situation.
So what's his style? Like, when you're saying people pluck
his style, his style is like, he can rap, but his style is like more so melodic. But he sings, he raps. It's really just, it's not boom bap, it's not hip hop, but it's just like, this shit sound dope.
Yeah, like, it's the vibe. He's like,
it's a vibe.
Yeah, he's the vibe.
It's a vibe.
Think about this. a lot of those hooks that said that Jimmy and them
all
balling. That's him. He wrote that.
Beat.
That's all him. So
that's
he was
all Max B.
Like he was
Summer in Miami.
Summer in Miami.
You take Jimmy from what's that? 0607 forward. That's all Max B influence.
Yeah.
Heavy Max B influence.
You know what? You know what?
Heavy Max B influence. Because if you listen to what's my joint where he was talking about I'm gonna smack your kufi off. We're talking Dipset time frame. And you hear that space in between. Now you get this Jimmy.
He's on this joint. He's on We Roll with Jim Jones.
Yes, and killing it. Because when I first saw the credits, I'm like, Max B with P Rock. When I pressed play, I said, "Oh."
All right,
Max,
so tell me,
Max had it, bro.
What do I need to do Max B? What do I start with? What do you want to send me to?
Right.
I'm gonna send. I can send you the mixtapes. And,
he has.
And I can even send you some stuff recent, and you can when you hear it, you'll understand what we talking about. You'll be like, okay, everybody has bit this shit. Like the melodic. Everybody
it's like the 50 Cent influence, like how 50 at the time cats started singing on joints. It's like that, but just a step higher. You know, he was doing it on his own joints. You gotta hear it. It's dope.
All right, no doubt. I always say the name, but never really.
He's supposed to get out in a couple years, but they keep playing with the case, so who knows?
Eddie, who you got for yours?
Yo, man, I'm going with Remy Ma because. Sorry, man.
You gonna go with the big piece of chicken, huh?
Yeah. Don't start.
You know what I mean?
You don't get the big piece of chicken.
Everything she had, man. You know what I mean? Being down with Terror Squad. You know, her verse on Lean Back. You know what I mean? The Annie Up remix.
Yeah.
All of that, and you know what? She was locked up. Like 2000. I'm gonna say like gun charges or assault or something.
She shot someone in the stomach. I want to say in the tunnel. Might have been the tunnel or the old tunnel.
And it was over a little bit amount of money though. The female got her for some bread. It was probably no more than $2,000. It wasn't nothing.
It was the principal though.
It was the principal, yeah.
That's funny because you know what? I never paid attention to Rem like that, but now I get when Stove Guy says, I feel Remy. I would have shot too. You know what I mean? So, I guess, I'm like, okay, so she shot somebody in the tunnel. Damn, for $200.
Nah, in the stomach. She shot it in the stomach.
In the stomach.
No, man, in the tunnel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was in the tunnel or the old building that the tunnel was, but it was around the time the tunnel was closing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I definitely feel like, you know what I mean? She was dope. I mean, she had potential. Like, I know her first album didn't blow up like that, but like she had every opportunity to blow up. I mean,
she had some bangers on that album.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, like you always say, Kill. You know, she's the dopest MC in the house.
Again. Is Pat been invited to a versus yet?
Ouch. He was there, but he wasn't
there.
Was he on stage though?
Supporting his
not with a microphone.
He was on stage, but in the back.
Not with a microphone in his hand.
All I know is if my soul is on the line between God and Satan, and I get to pick who I want to hold me down, I'm picking Remy. That's all I'm gonna say. Somebody else may pick Pat. That's on you. You like hell. That hell is hot. I don't like hot. So I'm gonna pick Remy.
It's dark and hot is hot.
I was thinking the same thing.
Let an angel be like, okay, kill Remy. Why you even ask about this nigga over here? Just go to Remy. You already know my answer, nigga. You an angel. You should know my answer. Like, I'm an angel. You know what I'm thinking. I'm glad you said Remy too, Ed, because I want to talk about.
Yeah,
I got some ideas on people getting locked up after a certain time and why they're able to bounce back versus people who were locked up before a certain time aren't able to bounce back. Because here's the crazy thing with Remy. She should have been done.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how long she was locked for, but she was locked. Remy didn't have discography enough to hold her down. Just at a versus battle. You see what I'm saying? So she had to be locked for at least 3-4 years, if not longer.
6.
That was a while. 6 or 7.
Now we gonna talk a lot of people from the 80s who was not, like we just said. Rick had 7, and he's done. Whereas Remy did 6, and she was just on the verses. But I got a philosophy on why that is. But we gonna chop that up about somebody I got later too. Jared, who you got?
But what I was gonna say about Remy too, because that was one of mine. But what I was gonna say, because it wasn't even the whatever and that other joint Cassidy. It was that Neo joint that was about to take her out of here. That Neo joint, she was about to be out of here because they was playing that all over the. She needed a record like that because Conceited and whatever those joints with the street joint. She needed a joint that was gonna be commercial, and that Neo joint was about to take her out of here.
Soften her up. It softened her up.
It was about to soften her up, and she was about to be out of here. And soon as they put that on the radio, next thing you know, she went to jail.
Because I still got the pieces. I got those 3 pieces: Conceited, whatever, and the Neo joint. And then
feels so good.
Yeah, it feels so good. We didn't get anything else after that. It was done.
Nothing.
The record came out. It wasn't service to the DJs. Nothing.
Here's the funny part: how many people can get locked up for 6 years, come out, and still be bigger than they rapper spouse who's been out in the streets?
But think about it. You are so shady, I swear.
I'm not throwing shots. I'm just asking questions. I'm literally just asking questions.
But think about
how many rappers can get locked up for 6 years. Their spouse is still in these streets putting out mixtapes, but they get out of jail and they still bigger than
But think about the era we in, though. Think about the era of mainstream that we're in. Like, that's why Remy kind of is able to kind of.
But here's the thing: is Remy even mainstream? I don't even know outside of that Ether song she did fucking with Nicki. Has Remy even had an album out?
Yeah.
Well, her and Fat Joe did that promo.
Oh, that all the way up. Which was
that? Yeah, and then Money Showers and
they did something else. Yeah.
They had
the Luca sample.
Yeah. So I mean,
she had a couple solo joints. You know
what I mean? So
that album was supposed to come out so long ago. I'm like over it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good on it.
We got to talk about what post 2000 can do for you getting locked up too later on, because I got a lot of ideas on that. Porsche, what you got, miss?
I'm gonna start with Snoop. To me, Snoop has the most disappointing discography, and I think it's because of Doggy Style being as dope as it is, and then him getting locked up, and him not having the ability to get back into the swing of things. Because I think, if I'm not wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong, Snoop was locked up for 3 years, from 93 to 96, and that was like. Again,
hold on for a sec, Porsche. I never knew Snoop was like. I thought he was just on trial, but I thought he was out.
No, he served 3 years, and then they were acquitted later on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, and to me, I attribute the fall off, or I guess the decline, I'll say, to that one incident, because. Again, like Doggy Style, you're coming off of like one of the greatest albums, bar none, in hip hop. Like that's a 5-mic classic. I think it's on everybody's list. I don't know a single soul, and I don't want to know a soul who doesn't like that album.
Okay.
But then you come back and Dogfather? Really? Like I just and then it's not only that, like from that time Snoop's released 17 other studio albums, and none of them, and they just keep getting like further decline. Do you know what I mean? So I just attribute it to him being locked up, not being kind of amidst all of the whatever it would have been, like the vibe or like the, you know, the hoopla around Doggy Style and how dope it was. He wasn't there for that. You know, like Snoop seriously was not outside during Doggy Style.
That's a good point, Pete. P, do you think he would have had some kind of influence on the way things went down? Because that's a good point. That makes sense.
I think that if Snoop wasn't locked up when he was, I think that he could have potentially made an album after Doggy Style that would have had the same momentum. I think he could have delivered off of the momentum of Doggy Style, because then you know like what works and all of that. And yes, when he came out, he would have known, because obviously you know how your album does. But I think just that prison time kind of deflates you. I can't imagine that you're sitting in prison being like, damn, I can't wait to get out and record another Doggy Style, and like, you know, it deflates you after 3 years. So that's me. That's what I think.
That's a good point. Death Row was relegated to soundtracks for those songs.
I never even knew he was locked up.
I didn't either. I really didn't.
I was on house arrest.
How much I separated myself from the West Coast during that time.
But didn't he go to No Limit though? He didn't bring out an album in No Limit?
After.
After.
He was on house arrest for a minute. So what she's saying, to me, I think it makes sense, because Death Row was doing a lot of soundtracks. They weren't doing a lot of albums. You gotta remember,
Corrupt Dogg was out. He was locked up.
Not the whole time. Not the whole time.
Not the whole time. But right after. Yeah.
You gotta think. Do you remember a Doggy Style tour?
Absolutely not.
You remember? Right. That's what I'm saying. Like those years, Above the Rim soundtrack came out. What's the joint? Nah, I'm not talking about Murder Was the Case. What's the joint with Clarence Williams? He passed away. Death Row did that soundtrack. Forget the name of the movie, but they were relegated to soundtracks. They did a lot of soundtracks. They didn't do what? It wasn't no albums coming out for about a good 18 months.
I mean, and two, it didn't help that by the time he got out, that Drake was gone.
Right.
Because that's a year.
Or at least by the time the case was over. At least by the time the case was over.
Yelled at me. So if CL gets locked up and Pete leaves, then we're never gonna get that same energy back. At least for me, of what I love from Snoop was him and Dre working together. And if by the time he gets out, Dre is gone, Death Row is in shambles. You kind of just work together like. All right, good point.
Which makes sense why he went to Master P and No Limit after that. To kind of get a fresh start, work with, someone who was hot, and all that. And
teaching the game.
Yeah, that part too.
All right, the next person I got up, keeping it with Philadelphia, I got Beanie Sigel. You got Beans dropping The Truth in 2000, The Reason in 2001, The Becoming 2005, which is a 5 mic classic for me. In 2002, he gets arrested for weapon charges. He does a year. 2003, gets arrested for aggravated assault for punching somebody and firing 6 shots at a club, injuring 2 people. He gets another year. 2006, he gets arrested for child support. Does about 6 to 8 months. 2010, he gets arrested for tax evasion. Does another 2 years. 2012, sentenced for illegal firearms and illegal possession of prescription drugs. Does 2 years. Then, after all that, 2014, gets shot in a drive-by, has his lung removed. So, as you can see, that is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times he has been locked up. And again, it's, to me, killing the momentum. Well, here's the thing, one of the things about 2000. I think, because here's the thing, he was locked up twice before The Becoming came out. And I mean, The Becoming album cover is basically him in jail. So, and I think with 2000, after 2000, going to jail was now dope. You know what I mean? And I want to talk about that later on. Like, I'm always confused why 50 in Game, and I've talked about this numerous times on the show. Why do niggas who get shot get love? I don't understand that. I know a lot of nut ass niggas who got shot. Just because you got shot don't mean you're tough. But it was like when 50 got shot and everybody like, oh, he been shot 9 times. I'm like, fuck are y'all excited for? Like, why are we excited because somebody got shot 9 times? I know lots of people who get shot a lot. And that don't mean they really in the streets, but somehow, some way it went different. So I think with Beans, I think him going to jail so much actually added to his persona of the Broad Street Bull. you know, of those things. I'll never forget on the Public Enemy mixtape, another 5 mic mixtape out of Philly, with Green Lantern. This nigga is on MTV, like they use an MTV joint. They was like, yeah, so what you locked for? He's like, yo, for attempted murder. It's like, how the fuck y'all gonna disrespect my aim like that? Yo, how are you on television talking about? How are you gonna disrespect my aim? There ain't no attempted murder. If I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. Like, I'm like, yo, this. But I think in 2000 that became the persona, that it was like. So I feel like I honestly, and I'm actually going against what the topic was, because it was supposed to be people whose career was derailed by going to jail. I actually think Beans going to jail helped his career, because it actually made him look more solid. I remember during the trial when Rockefeller and Damon them would all come down, suited up to Philly, going to court with him and everything. Beyonce was in court with him and everything like that. And I don't know. I don't know if Beans' career could have been any better than what it was. I mean, he's a certified Philly legend. He battled Jadakiss. You know, I ain't mad if you think Kiss won. I think Beans won, and probably one of the most epic battles of all of hip hop, because it's almost like a draw. Like most hip hop battles, it's like, oh no, Nas won, KRS won, Common won. Like that's the only battle where you can kind of be like, nah, Kiss got him, nah, Beans got him, and neither side is really mad at the other one. So talking, I don't even really know if going to jail fucked up Beans' career. What do y'all think?
I mean, it did. It did in a way that, you know what I mean, he lost time that he could have been, you know, recording and working on his craft and maybe getting into some other stuff. You know, it didn't affect like his popularity, and I think that's what it is, right? It didn't affect his popularity, like his fans, like well respected Philadelphia legend, but I still think it affected him, like what, you know, he was able to do.
Maybe it affected his bottom line. Like
that's right.
Like maybe he would have toured more and he would have been able to do more. But you know, I'm just looking at this like while I'm talking, I'm like, yo, the truth be told, like all the things that I'm just saying that Beans doesn't sound like somebody who's been locked up 6 different times.
Yeah, right. I think one thing it helped his believability. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember watching the Boondocks, and there was an episode, and they were, you know, y'all seen the Boondocks before. They were formulating some plan, and the little girl was like, "Man, we need to go in there and do this, because that's what Beans would do." You know, you remember that? Would do.
Yeah, she said, like, "Yo, you gonna even get down and lay down?
Get down and lay down." Beans would go to war. You know what I'm saying?
Beans would go to war.
That's how he was looked at, and that stuff solidified that aura of Beanie Sigel. Like, you didn't really want to go there with him. You know what I'm saying? But I think where it hurt him is his bottom line and his longevity, because The Becoming is his best album to me, and it's complete, and I don't skip a song on that album. The follow-up should have been something. You know what I'm saying? I think it was the events of the breakup, and also with him going in and out of jail, like that whole thing encompassed him kind of like disappearing for a while. You know what I'm saying?
So that's a good point. Maybe not messed up prior to The Becoming, but it messed him up moving forward.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
All right, no doubt. And then again, once he got shot and he lost that lung, because I'll never forget hearing Push's album, and I heard the song "Keep Dealing," and I didn't even know that was Beans, because I listened to the whole album. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Beans was on here. I was looking forward to that. His voice was pretty raspy now that when he was spitting, I didn't even know that was him at first. So again, it's just the streets, man. And again, you know, these cats get knocked for tax evasion. I forgot all about that charge. You know what I mean? Like child support. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the next person I got. Rel, who you got up next?
All right, my next person going to jail ruined their career and life, and that for a period of time, and that's Shyne.
Shyne's on the list.
Shyne had a buzz, man. Like that first album came out, Shyne was that dude. Whether you like the fact that he sounded like Big or not, Shyne was popping at that point. You know what I'm saying? And for that situation that happened with the gun in the club and Puff and all, and it just like destroyed. Like he got deported, he went to jail, got deported, and it's like never really the same. Never. I mean, he had put an album out from jail. It wasn't. I didn't like it, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, and then he got deported. Like, so it like ruined his life and everything. You know what I'm saying? That one incident where you riding for your boss and you take the L. You know what I'm saying? And that's it for you. You know what I'm saying? Because he had that first album was good. It was a good album, and he was popping. He had the machine behind him. He was popping, and then that happened, and then it was just like over for him, man. It was unfortunate, man. Like, and I know a lot of people looked at Puff crazy after that a little bit, like, and I kind of reserved my judgment because I don't know all the facts about it. But from the outside looking at it, just looked crazy. Like, dog, you did that to defend you. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, I don't know, man. It was messed up, man.
It's what Nas said on Purple. I don't like the way that he did Shyne with different lawyers.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
Out the gate.
Example. When it real goes wrong.
Keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah.
Nigga, I am not security, nigga. I am the artist. Okay. Fuck, I look like doing security for you, nigga. We supposed to be, somebody else supposed to add a joint on them. Like, I ain't keeping it real goes wrong. Right. That's where. Right. What you got up next, good brother?
Let's see, man. You know what? Go with Lil Kim, man. Here's the reason why.
Now remind me stuff. Kim got knocked because Kim
got knocked for perjury.
He went hard for no reason.
She went hard for D-Rock.
Right.
Let's go back. It stems from her beef with Foxy Brown. There was a shooting out front, Hot 97. Long story short, Kim, like you just said, she was snitching. And she went to court, said one thing, went back to court, said something else. They found that she lied on the stand or whatever. So they gave her a year. The problem was she came out with a dope album. The album was crazy. Yeah, the album was fire. That's the Lighters Up album. That's the joint with Lighters Up. If you listen to that album, there's
Bella Mafia.
No,
that was
Notorious K.I.M.
No, The Naked Truth.
The Naked Truth. Okay.
The Naked Truth. You got Lighters Up, Shut Up, Whoa. 3 straight bangers, singles out the gate. That's gonna give you the push you need. And it's Lil Kim. Exactly. And it's Lil Kim.
Lighters Up was fire.
Because she had the machine behind her. So
exactly. That
she
album
was good.
Is fire. Yep. She basically what she did was she ran through 3 singles, did as much as she could, and sat in Philly across the street from Independence Hall for a year and got no promo after that on that album. And her career has been trash box since. And that was, in my opinion, I think that was one of the major reasons why. I think after that she was like, fuck it. What's the point? You know, she lost steam. Now she out here looking like a motherfucking cat.
That essentially ended her career. That shit ended her career, to be honest. Like that was it. And you said it earlier, like she didn't and all that. Yeah, she didn't have to. She could. I'm not saying rat on your people. That's not what I'm saying. But your rap career is what kept you relevant, and now you have to rely on being socialite or what people remember of you.
Right, the legacy.
Right, and this generation and this music, this thing changes at the drop of a whim. And the next move, they're not gonna remember Kim because she already struggling with people that's out now not giving her flowers. The next movement of female MCs and MCs in general, it's a wrap.
You don't know her.
No, it's a wrap. And we can keep the culture as far as that piece alive, but it's about to be over for her.
Here's a question. How long did we really think Kim could survive without Biggie's pen?
I was gonna say that.
Hey, I'll tell you this, she survived longer than I thought.
Right.
She survived longer than I thought. She did an excellent job, but that situation.
And see, I don't know Kim's this guy. Hardcore is the shit.
Yes.
Everything after that is just downhill.
So you got hardcore. You got Bella Mafia.
But if that shit was
Notorious
on hardcore,
K.I.M.
out.
Yeah, Notorious Cat. So the thing is, she came with the right songs at the right time, outside of the Notorious K.I.M. joint, or what was the first one?
Hardcore.
Right. So the shift, you figure 98, 99, she had the La Bella Mafia joint, had the right songs, had my man with the thong song, had all that on. It was right. For the
that
time.
was Notorious K.I.M.
Right. It was right for the time. It was right for the time. The next
and she
one,
started using more of her fashion. Was more notable than her music was. It was like you wanted to see what she was wearing. It wasn't even though it conflicted with the music, but it was more like, yo, what Kim gonna wear? Like everybody know, like when she went to the MTV Awards, it was like, oh, she did that. Like that became more than the music after a while. You know what I mean? So she was able, like Rex said, she was able to have a single here, throw a single here, it works. Boom, she come out with La Bella Mafia. Come out with, the joint with her and Mr. Cheeks, the joint with her and 50. It works. It kept her relevant. You know what I mean? It kept her there. So
let me ask you a question. You represent two sides of the coin. You represent the DJ club side, but then you also represent the street side. All I do is represent the streets. And to me, Kim was dead after hardcore. Do you agree with that?
Man.
Okay.
She wasn't. I get what you're saying. Trust me. Wasn't nobody out there screaming no Lil Kim, because after hardcore, she wasn't doing the pose, and it wasn't that Biggie influence.
There's none of this shit hitting no mixtape circuits. None of these songs are hitting it.
Right. You're right.
I am.
You're right. But from a club standpoint and the generation and the money generation,
y'all naming shit I never heard before. So that's why I'm like, I think we speak in two different languages.
And that's what the girls now are influenced by. They're influenced by that Kim, not the hardcore Kim. They're influenced by that Notorious K.I.M. and La Bella Mafia Kim.
Right.
Not hardcore.
But here's the problem. They won't know that because nobody's giving her flowers. The only one that I can say maybe give her flowers is Cardi and Megan Thee Stallion when they out in conversation. But that's not going to be much longer because they want their own shine. They're going to do their own things to take that torch for that particular genre of female MC and move it forward. And then it's not going to be no more. It's going to be done.
Right. All right, Eddie, who you got?
I'm going with John Forte, man. Yo,
damn,
John Forte.
I got him over here.
Ooh. Yeah, man. Like, if Talib Kweli always talks about him as like, someone who helped in the industry and as an influence. Obviously, he was down with the Fugees, Refugee Squad, and all that. The man got 14 years for drug trafficking. Like, they ain't no coming back from that, yo. I mean, and then then you come back, right? 14 years, like the crew that you were running with ain't even relevant anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you do?
Two questions. He got knocked after the solo album?
After the solo album, I think his solo was 98.
Yeah, Poli-Sci came out in 98.
How much time did he do?
14 years. 14 years. I don't know if he did it. I think so.
He just got out a few years ago.
He did a good majority of that bid. If he didn't do 15, he did 11, 12. He did a good amount of that.
I got it written down. Let me see.
I know he recently got pardoned. I know he recently got pardoned.
Yeah. He did 10 years.
10.
Yeah.
Here we go.
He did 10.
So 10
yeah,
out
well,
of
you
14.
right, you ran with, they done. Let's get in the studio like, oh damn, nigga, you ain't heard? Like, yo.
That's true.
You know, like,
man.
like, yo, these don't fuck with each other no more, my nigga. Like, yo. Yeah, that's crazy. God damn, 10 years.
Yeah. John Forte was fire, man. That Poli-Sci, it wasn't the greatest of album. There was some issues with it, but he definitely ran with the right crew and was a spitter. He had the voice too. It just, I wonder what would have happened.
Yeah, I mean well, he was on the Wyclef album, We Staying Alive. Like, he had a verse on that joint.
Yeah, that was the killer right there.
Yep.
Ooh, we nuts, baby.
That knocks him up. JR, what you got up next, bro?
Okay, so right, I had to come up with these over like literally like 15 minutes for the show, but I said Bobby Brown.
I'm not mad. Now again, I'm old. Take me back in time. What did Bob get knocked for?
Okay, so all right, so in '95 he got knocked for they were in a club. Him and his crew was in a club in Orlando, and they ended up like beating somebody up and all of this kind of mess. And then Bobby was already drunk, so then he pissed in the car and all this kind of stuff. Then right after, then he went back to jail because he kicked the hotel security in the face. So it was just like,
he karate kicked somebody in his face.
Yep.
Like how he was jumping out the helicopter in the Thug Loving video.
Yo, son, I don't know what. Yo, if John would have brought him out last night, that would have been dope.
He kicked the hell out that air when he jumped out that helicopter in that video.
Cause he was high, he didn't know what he was doing.
Hey, that song was fire though.
I don't care what nobody says.
Hey, that's the shit.
That
song was fire. That song was fire.
That song is shit. Him jumping out the helicopter made that shit official.
Yo.
Like
like you know when the vibe.
Bobby Brown was on his Billy Blanks, man.
Made that. All right, so JR, help me with the years. So we're talking. All right, Don't Be Cruel is 90. So what's happening in 95? Is this
88 is actually Don't Be Cruel. Then right, and then in 92 he comes out with the Bobby album, which did okay, but after that it was like once he got married to Whitney, it was the focus of them two. It was never about the music anymore. So then after that,
he married to Whitney.
He was married to Whitney, yes, when the album was released.
He got out of jail and they went to go pick him up.
That was in 2001.
That's the old jail. How many times Bobby been to jail?
He was in twice in 95, once in 96, 3 times in 98. Like, it was bad. Like,
I apologize. I dictate going to jail from you do at least a year. Are these at least years? Because I know people get locked up all the time and then they out in 2 months. Like, are these like you?
I mean, the longest time he stayed, in jail was the time you talking about, like 28 days. Okay. Right. He did that. You know what I mean? But it just seems like after that, it was like no more. It was like after he went to jail that like twice in 95, and then the marriage with him and Whitney. Then he got back with New Edition, and that was a mess. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, then it was just like 90. Then he brought out an album in 92. Then he came out with Forever that shouldn't have never came out in 97. The album was trash. He know it's trash. He don't even talk about it. But
now, let me ask you this, R&B guru.
Yeah.
Do you think him going to jail really messed it up? Or I just felt like Bobby ran out of steam. Like there was just nothing, because now we're starting to creep into neo soul, and Bobby was never going to be able to tap into that market like that.
To me, I think him marrying Whitney also didn't help in a way, because when we all think about it, people try to kind of shit on Bobby, to be honest. But when him and Whitney got together, Bobby was the shit. Like, we can't deny that he wasn't the shit. Like, maybe Whitney was the pop chick, but Bobby was for us, and he was crossing over too. So they was kind of like equal. But then once they got married, that's what Teddy Riley said in the interview when he was on the Breakfast Club, which people don't watch that. But
watching that.
Yeah, he was on the Breakfast Club, and he said to Bobby while they were doing the album, he was like, "You really want to marry Whitney now?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You know this is gonna mess up this album rollout, right? Because they're gonna be completely focused on your marriage rather than the music." He gets married in July. The album comes out in August. What are all the questions? Whitney this, Whitney that, Whitney this, Whitney that. He did a little tour with it, and then after that, it was like he just kills everything. It was like, "I'm gonna go on tour with you. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna do all that." And after a while,
it sounds like the marriage to Whitney was the prison.
Huh?
I said it sounds like the marriage to Whitney was the prison.
Okay, for real. That's real. Like, that's real. Like, and he just forgot about
my mic.
Don't let my wife hear that, man. My wife is the biggest Whitney fan.
I'm just wondering, was it one of those things where kind of like Rec, you'll understand, when D Wade invited Bron and them down to Miami, like D Wade kind of knew these injuries are plaguing me. I don't mind playing second fiddle now, to Bron, let's go out here and do this together. Did Bob kind of know my time is over and let me just ride this Whitney shit out, hop on this Whitney train? Because I feel like some artists you can know in yourself, not that I don't have the talent, but they don't want to hear this shit. You know what I mean? Like, New Edition,
swallow.
Like, New Edition never really had another successful album better than Heartbreak, because the climate of R&B. What was there? What was bigger?
Home Again.
I mean, that was alright. That was big. You felt like that was bigger than Heartbreak?
It wasn't. No, you said it wasn't great. Heartbreak was great, but Home Again was dope too. Like, Hit Me Off and I'm Still in Love. You Don't Have to Worry, and the remix. Like, that album was dope. That album was the shit. Like,
how many likes you give it?
What? Talking about Home Again? I give it 4.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I give it 4, but no, I mean, I agree with you as far as that. I think with the whole, I think like
what you taught me, where it's like, look, after a certain time, just tour. Like,
right.
And I think you can't make nobody wants to hear no new edition out now.
No.
Everybody they want to hear. They'll listen when they come out. That don't mean they like. Nobody, wanted another New Edition album, I guess, after Home Again. Because Heartbreak had to be what, 88?
That was 88, yeah.
Home Again was what, 96?
But a lot of them went solo, though.
Yeah, BBD, and then they went solo.
I'm not messing with you about Ralph. I'm not messing with you about Ralph.
Oh, no. We ain't going there. We're not going there. But no, but I mean, they all went solo, but then afterwards, after they all did their second albums, it was kind of like nobody really cared. So it was like
we all knew BBD didn't have it no more after Hootie Mac. Like, it was obvious.
They barely had it when they brought out Hootie Mac.
Right. That's what I mean by it's like, to me, that's like when you start doing, like Jalen Rose said, I'm gonna start doing color commentary before I even end my career. So I already got my next step. I know where I'm going next. Like, they had to know after Hootie Mac, like, this ain't it. Like, you know.
All of them did. They all realized after the second albums of each of their solos, except Bob. But after their second albums and third, they was like, all right, let's get back together again. And I think the excitement of them back together was what everybody loved. But they was on their rock and roll shit then. It was like, you know what I'm saying? We done went solo. I can do my shit. You can do yours. Like that. But I think Bobby he had, when he could have went like this. And once he married Whitney, it went like this. And then added his jail sentence and doing all that. It was like when he came out in 2012 with Masterpiece, I said, Bobby, what are you doing? Why?
And then the stints in rehab and all that too.
Right, that hurt too. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all was saying with Slick Rick and everybody else. Like, Bobby came out with his album in 92. The next album didn't come out to 97. And by then, when Bobby came out with the Bobby album in 1992, music was changing. It wasn't no more of the New Jack. That's when Mary comes in, and that's when SWV comes in, and that's when Jodeci is popping. Nobody wants to do that New Jack no more. So he was kind of like, and the jail and him getting locked up didn't help. So
still stuck.
All right, Porsche, what you got up next, sis?
So I have Shyne, and this one's a bit weird because Shy is my favorite Wu affiliate, and I followed his album releases all throughout.
Because N.O.R.E already got in trouble. I'm gonna let that nigga take that.
Yeah, please do. But here's the thing. So Shy actually releases Rugged Child in 94, Lost Generation in 96, Man Child in 99. And those were like, to me, I loved them all equally. Like, I love those albums back to back. Then he goes on to do The Greatest Story Never Told in 2004 and Disrespectfully Speaking in 2009. However, his legal issues, like his prison sentence doesn't come up until 2014. So I can't really say that it was a direct correlation between, you know, that arrest being, or I guess that term that he served being what derailed him. However, he was, you know, bouncing around from label to label, and he was sort of involved in the streets and all of that kind of stuff. Just got locked up in 2014. So I'm inclined to say that the prison sentence and going to jail for 5 years, actually it would have been about 6 years and a bit. That to me is kind of what, again, sort of, I don't know, I feel like whenever an MC or an artist or a celebrity goes to jail, it takes you out of a very fast-moving industry. And then when you're not sort of there and being seen and talked about and, you know, kind of somewhere, at least in pictures and background somewhere, you kind of get forgotten. So like, I think even though, yes, Shyne also had a decline of albums, I feel like that being locked up for 6 years was just like a bullet to the career, because he just wasn't there. And 6 years is a very, very long time in hip hop. I feel like that's like, I don't know, that's like probably 20 years in real life, outside of hip hop, to me. I don't know. So that's, I'm gonna say Shyne.
I will say this, sis. I had no idea that nigga had more than one record out. So I thank you for schooling that he had.
Kill, you need to listen to. Kill, you need to listen to the Lost Generation.
Here's the thing. And this is how I kept up with everything. Again, I had 4 different DJs at 889. So it wasn't just what I wanted to hear. None of them DJs played anything from Shyne except On and On.
Listen, Shyne though is like actually super dope, especially when he was younger. Like that's why it kills me when Noriega like puts him on blast, because N.O.R.E, like, Shyne was doing better things with rap than you were when he was 16 than you were when you were like 40.
I can't go there. I can't go there.
Man, Kill, stop it.
I'm gonna have
Hey, Shyne was dope, man. We had Shyne come out to Willenboro, man. Shyne was dope. For the time he was up, again, he was dope.
All I'm saying,
he doesn't have a war report, though.
And I have 4 different DJs.
Oh no, Rel, no.
Open access to play whatever they want. That's how I got put onto a lot of the music, because they would play different things. I had 1 from Philly, 2 from Baltimore, 1 from New York. Nobody. I know a lot of people. Word has never gotten back to ear from anybody that Kill, you need to listen to this, Shyne. This is the first time of Walking Earth that I even knew he had another album out.
I was in the prairies of Canada and I heard about Shyne. Like, that's wild to me, because Shy is amazing.
Back into the hood. There's no way that Shy has a better career than me. That's impossible. Just awful.
No, I'm not saying a better career. I'm just saying he had a better album when he was 16 than N.O.R.E did. When he was like, you know, I'm just saying that Rugged Child album is dope. Man Child was dope.
Okay, all right.
You know what?
Okay, I'm gonna need the resident Philadelphia residents to revisit Shyne's first 3 albums for sure. Because Kill and Rel are sitting out here talking about, I don't know.
You had a perfect look on your face. I don't know about that, sis. I mean, God damn.
Listen, I have the Omar Epps face right now from that GIF. That's what I'm looking at you guys like that right now.
This is why I'm gonna pay you, because I need to see your face right now. This is why I'm gonna pay you. I'm paying you tonight at midnight, as soon as my check hits.
That's
cool. You guys, I am gonna bombard you with links until you guys listen to these albums.
She's done a Rory and Mal on us and is refusing to show her face until I get this money right. So, we gotta get it right. All right. Here's the next person I got up. This is close to home. This is my young boy. Lives literally across the street from my mom's house. I open my door. I see his door. And that's Cassidy. Had Slippers 2004. I'm a Hustler 2005. Bars in 2007. My mom called me one day like, yo, niggas was shooting out here all night. It sounded like it was a war going on. I'm like, yo, good. And the way my block is I'm on this side with a driveway. Cassidy's on this side with a driveway. So the shooting occurred in the driveway. So, you know, it wasn't like near where my mom was. But, and then word got back to the air like, yo, I think it has something to do with Cass. And I'm like, yo, I hope that's not true. So April 15, 2005 was the shooting. June 17, 2005, he surrendered. 2006, convicted of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of aggravated assault and possession of an instrument of crime. I would assume that just means a gun. He got 11 to 23 months. He served 8 months. And to be honest, I don't think that messed him up as much as the car accident that he got into that followed, which a lot of people don't know about. He got out in 2005, but then in 2006 he got into a car accident, fractured his skull. He was in a coma for about 10, 11 days. He had amnesia, you know, all kinds of shit. And to me, he just never was the same after that accident. You know what I mean? Even when I see him in interviews, when I see him, like, to me, he just never was the same after that. Again, I just think 2000 plus, you going to jail, it kind of solidified you as, you know, the persona of I'm a hustler. If you watch Cassidy back in the day, even before I'm a hustler, you know, all the freestyles was about coke, drugs, guns. I think that kind of just solidified it because it was like, damn, this boy must be real. This nigga in jail right now for this. But I think more so what messed up Cassidy was just, again, he got signed at that time when, and I always talk about Cassidy Fab and Kiss, where labels were signing these street rappers, but then trying to make them make radio songs. Like, you know, I talked about Cassidy forever. Rel knows Cass. You know, he had the thing to Cypher, and he like won for like a million years. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I remember being home from Morgan for the summer, and mad niggas would just come on the block. We thinking they coming to Rumble. They just coming to battle Cass. That nigga just like was invincible. That nigga was like a Mike Tyson. Like, niggas would come and niggas would leave. Like, it was quick. But I just don't understand why you would sign that person to then make Hotel. Because I've been talking about Cassidy to everybody who would listen. And if y'all think every New York nigga didn't call me like, this your nigga with the motherfucking pipe with a mask on his face talking about hotel keys. And I'm like, come on, y'all, it's the radio single. Just wait till the next single. Then it was Mashonda, it gets no better. And I'm like, I quit.
We took, I took L's because of him. Because
and it wasn't until I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. To me, is what Eddie, you know, where he was supposed to be. So, but I mean, the jail thing. I think again, after 2000, we just. I just think, and it was on the episode of Sopranos when Lord Jamal was on it, and it was like a rapper in the hospital, and it was like, yo, my buzz is dying, and like one of Tony's men was like, well, I'll shoot you. Like that was just the shit. Like if your career was falling in hip hop, like back in those days, it was like get shot or go to jail. One of those two things will bring you back to the limelight and everything like that. So again, I don't think the jail really hurt Cass, but I think the car accident did more hurt than anything. Rel, who you got up next, bro?
I got somebody that a lot of people like. Some people didn't even know that he actually was a rapper at one point. But I got my son. There was a time during the Violator time, my son was that dude. Like the buzz was crazy. Like people, I think I was in college or something. Yo, it was like people were looking for him to be that dude. Like he was guest starring verses on different stuff, and he was like really getting a buzz. And the next thing you know, he got like 12 years for like I think he robbed like a taxi driver, shot him, some crazy shit, and he got 12 years, and it was a wrap after that. Like you didn't hear nothing from it, and he came out, and you know him more for like his activism and stuff like that than anything music related. But it was a time where like he was really like highly anticipated, like, yo, you know, he might be that next dude when we're gonna get the My Son album. And then he went to jail, and you know, sometimes you hear rappers they go to jail and they might do a little. He did a lot of time, and it was over after that. You know what I'm saying? So that was my next person.
That's crazy because I know him from, like you said, like the acting, but I've seen him do like little freestyles on Flex and stuff like that. And dude is nice. You know what I mean? I didn't know about him prior to getting locked up, but just dude is nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can only imagine.
On them Violator, you remember the Violator compilations? Yeah. He was all over them joints, and he had features with different people, and he was like, I just remember like some of my friends from New York, like they were really like hyping him, like, yo, this could be the next dude. And I remember he was on the Rough Riders joint, like he was one of them dudes with a serious buzz, and then he was known to be like living some of the shit he was talking about, you know what I'm saying? And it just that situation happened, and he did it. He got 12 for that, you know what I'm saying? And that was it for him.
Yeah.
Wait, let me get this straight. So you guys like my song, but you won't listen to Shyne. I just want to be clear here. This is wild to me. You guys are killing me in Philly over there, man. Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
I'm gonna take you back to 1993, freshman year at Morgan State. On and On was the funny. Two of my homegirls, twins from Staten Island. They like Shaheem's older brother, and I mean Shaheem looked like he was gonna blow. It looked like he was like baby meth. You know what I mean? Like he was gonna be a super duper star. But here's the thing: I have never heard anybody outside of somebody who lives on Staten Island talk about that first album, let alone the albums that followed after that. I have never heard, even on Twitter, the planet of Twitter, where the craziest shit gets talked. I have never, in 12 years of being on Twitter, seen one person ever talk about that Shaheem album. Not one.
Not even you, Paul.
Again, this is why.
Great point. I never heard you.
I always talk about Shaheem. Are you guys kidding me? You guys just tell me right now. You guys don't pay attention to shit that I say. Me and Tasha used to talk about Shaheem all the time. I'm just saying. No, you guys stop it.
I just gotta bring it back because we know all the time. Because you're calling on someone's credibility. Whenever someone says me and such and such, whenever that story happens,
yo, I'm done.
I knew it.
I'm sitting here telling you,
I'm done.
I'm pulling Rel in for credibility. So I just want to find out what Tasha you are now. Like you're
analog lady. Analog lady, Tasha.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you guys don't know. I do talk about Shaheem. Anyone who knows me knows about Shaheem. Eddie, when we were talking about this topic, what did you say? You said, "Oh, I know Shaheem's going to be on Portia's list." Because
that was because of a recent discussion.
I think the Five Rose effect in my memory. Porsche, I just have not known you to talk about Shaheem. And I'm not trying to say that you haven't, because you may have in Pat, but it's not like you talk about Shaheem. Like, we know you hate Drake. That's how I would, or like people know I hate Ben Simmons. Like, that's why I've just never heard you mention Shaheem's name.
Right.
Ever.
Oh, good.
Not saying you can talk about him with Analog Lady, but I just
I keep saying, right? You guys are going to war for my son. That is like the biggest cornball after. Never mind.
Right now.
Hold on, Porsche.
I'm gonna listen.
I like Shaheem's first album. I didn't know about the ones after that. You know what I'm saying?
I like Shaheem's first album as well.
His first album, because On and On was the single, but it was some. He had
a couple joints on there.
Yeah. It was.
He had the joint with he had the joint with the sample from the movie with Samuel Jackson and John Travolta in there. That was a banger. He had a couple joints on that album. The album was tight.
Yeah, no, I like the album, and I did like.
I'm listening tonight.
I will listen. Yeah, I will listen. I'm gonna listen because I
am waiting for that.
Coming at
I can't wait to finish recording this so I can really laugh the way I want to laugh. Rack, who do you have up next? Who do you have up next?
Yeah, I know.
Yo, all right, so
I'm
check
about
it,
to say,
man.
I know why. I'm gonna just stop because
No, don't.
Okay. Go ahead, Rec. Who you got up next, man?
All right, so I got Capone, man.
Good one.
Capone, ironically enough, is the reason why N.O.R.E got a record deal in the first place, and was not able to reap the benefits of said situation. Shortly after the War Report was released, he got knocked. The second one was released, but I mean, he forced N.O.R.E in. N.O.R.E had to go solo, and after that, it was a wrap. Like, not that N.O.R.E is the greatest of rapper, but
Bro,
I just think,
bro, we cannot do this, bro.
All right. I'm sorry. All right.
What's up?
No, until we finish recording, Greg. He's still laughing. We gotta wait. I don't want this out there in the Twitter world, so we gonna just keep this in the house until
I just think that he I think he took a L with that particular getting knocked at that time, because that War Report.
And how much did
he did like 4 or 5 years, but it made it so that N.O.R.E had to go solo. The second album was done, but they didn't release it until he got out, and then he got knocked again.
Yeah, and he didn't finish the War
reunion,
Report.
right?
Like
no, he did not. He did not.
Report.
That's why there's certain songs on there with Tragedy Gaddafi. That's why he only got one solo, the Capone Bone joint. Like,
that's why.
That's
he got knocked.
He got knocked
during the process. He didn't get to finish the album.
He didn't get to finish the album.
If you hear N.O.R.E talk about it, if it wasn't for Tragedy, N.O.R.E wouldn't have been able to carry that album like that. Like he was scared about that, because he was like, damn, now I gotta carry the album without Capone, because they really wanted Capone. Like signing, they wanted to sign Capone. They wanted Capone, and so he couldn't finish that album. And that's why it's so much Tragedy Gaddafi on there, and he actually saves that album, and it makes it what it is. You know what I'm saying? And then after the fact, that's why N.O.R.E has to go solo and do the N.O.R.E album and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a good pull, right?
Yeah, he says it like, he owes Tragedy Gaddafi for saving that album, because the album would have probably been dead in the water because Capone was knocked and it wasn't finished. But yeah, man, I just wish that they would have been able to get a third album out together with the same steam they had on the first one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And he never was able to recover. Like, never.
Yeah, that's a good pull.
That's my pull.
Hey, who you got next, man?
All right, I got Black Rob, man. Black Rob, what was it?
Now, quick again. What year? This before, after Woe? How much time did you do?
That was after Woe. I think
about 06, 05, 06.
It was 2006. So it was for a crime he did in 04, like grand larceny, robbed the hotel, and he got sentenced to 6 years and wound up doing 4.
Yeah.
So by that point, right? So he had. First time I really remember hearing him was at P. Diddy and the Family, No Way Out, I Love You Baby, that joint. And then his first solo, right, that had Woe and all that was 2000. He had a second Bad Boy album, 2005. And then he got locked up 2006 for 4 years. And he had a couple more albums after that, but I think kind of like, people move on, and I kind of felt like, with Puff, you just don't know how loyal he is to his artists like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
That's the problem.
I agree. The second album was dope.
I wonder, like, do we expect too much from record executives? Like, I almost look at the record business literally like the NBA. Like, yo, I'm cool with the owner, I chill with the owner, and you thinking you're really friends with the owner, but then that's the same owner who will trade you in a heartbeat, to another team. So I wonder, like, do we expect more from Puff? Like,
Right.
like I because I know how it can seem. It's seen, and the other problem is that Puff is all in the videos too, so that don't help either. Because you're seeing Puff and Big, and you're thinking they're best friends, and it's like when you see Steve Ballmer at a Clippers game, he's by himself. I've never seen Steve Ballmer hanging out with Paul George, you know, at the strip club together. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, okay, damn, Steve, how you gonna do that to Paul? This your strip club buddy. Versus when we're constantly seeing Puffy, and you know he's in everybody's video. He's gonna be in Mason's video, so it looks like they're best friends. He's gonna be in Black Rob's video. It looks like he's gonna be in G Dep's video. He's gonna be in Shyne's video. Right. And then when it's like, oh well, Puff, you know that's fucked up. Puff, let him get locked up. But it's like, are they really friends or are they just co-workers?
No,
I think I fell into that trap.
Good point.
I put a lot of blame on Puffy that I probably shouldn't have. That actually being on this show, we had a discussion about it, and it kind of opened my mind a little bit more. Like that maybe I am putting a little bit too much of it on Puff. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it just seems like you said, we see him, you all in the, you know what I'm saying, and then when something happened, it just seemed like he abandons them and stuff like that. And then I'm like, damn, do I do that with other record execs? Like,
yeah, I do have a question though.
You know, like if something happened with Dre, nobody's gonna be mad at Jimmy Iovine. I've never seen Jimmy Iovine in anybody's video. You know what I mean? Or you know, Russell wasn't in Rock Box and you know King of Rock. You know what I mean? So the record executives never popped into that. Like Puff and JD were the main people that was gonna be all in your videos.
So my question, right? So you know, Black Rob, he had been down with Bad Boy for a while, right? I mean, if you know, Life Story went platinum, right? It wasn't just a blip on the radar. Like that's a platinum album. So I mean, for Black Rob to go right, so that was 2000. For him to then go to Robbing the Hotel in 2004, like I'm questioning, like what was his pockets like? Like was he not paid off that album? And you know, yeah, that's the business, but I feel like if he was taken care of, he wouldn't have to rob a hotel. You know what I mean?
I think with Puff, it's the severity and the severity and the number of cases that make it look questionable. Because you got Black Rob, you got G, you got all those, and it's like tragic stories that happen after being on Craig Mack. You know what I'm saying? It just. I think that's what like puts it in your mind, like, damn, Puff might be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's tough, man.
I tell this joke all the time. The devil's outside the church crying, and somebody walks up like, "Why are you mad?" They like, they in there blaming me for everything. Like, I ain't do everything. Like, I fuck with y'all, but damn, some of this shit y'all do yourself. Like, I have more than enough people that I know who be like, "Man, the devil," and I'm like, no, nigga, that's the dumbass decision you made. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with the devil. Like, G Dep got knocked with crime he did before that nigga was even on bad. You know what I mean? So it's like, we can't blame that one on Puff. It's like, again, and if this is just business, and this is where, again, where things get messy, and again, I think it's because he's in the video. You know what I mean? Like, that was the problem. When you're in the video, it looks like I can honestly say we're all up here, we're all cool, we can't all wait to get together and have Apartment 5B get together. There's another podcast out there where people are like this and don't fuck with each other. You know, right. But
that's true.
Like because you're on the podcast every week together that y'all are all best friends and Kill, how you go to LA and not get with Eddie? Like, I don't fuck with Eddie. Like, we just do this show. Like, that's all this shit, you know? So I think that's the thing where those make it seem like we're best friends or they're best friends, and they really aren't. Whereas for us, it's different. We are all cool. We all are asking about each other's kids and this and that and other, you know, how is life? So I think that's just like the thing. So again, I'm not taking no blame off of Puff. Puff has got his shit, but I just wonder how much, you know, how much can we really blame Puff for? Like, you know, maybe Black Rob. I know some niggas who can't leave the streets alone. Like, we're gonna get to that too, you know, on you know, people who just can't leave the streets alone, who could be in the best position of their life and still want to do some street shit. I know niggas who, you know what, I'll give you a great example, and this is one of the reasons I love this part of The Wire. When Marlo tried to get out the game, and he got out, And Levy had him up there with the politics. And where'd that nigga go? Right down to a street corner.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how successful you are. Like Avon said, I want my corners, nigga. Like, that's the fun of this game. That's great, Stringer. You hooked us up. We don't have to, everything is, this shit boring to me, my nigga. This shit is boring to me. I asked one of my kids once, I said, hey, I'm giving them a haircut. Yo, I want to get my GED, Kill. Okay, I'll get you in this school, but I can't get that school. They beef. What about this school? Nah, I'm beef with them. What about that school? I'm beef with them. Nigga, what if I could just take away all the beef and you could go wherever you want? Would you want that? That nigga sat there for a minute and was like, I don't even know. And see, that let me know right there. Wow. This shit is a turn on to you. This shit is a get up out of bed. Am I gonna die today? Am I gonna get shot today? Am I gonna have to shoot somebody today? That shit is what motivates some people. So even though Black Rob could have went platinum and could have had a big house and could have had everything, and this nigga, his boy just like, yo, we gonna rob the hotel. Bet, let's go. Like, you don't know. It sounds crazy to us because it's like everybody I know is trying to get out the game and stay away from the game.
And I gotta put a disclaimer, you know what I mean? Because I don't want anyone to watch this F and be like, y'all disrespecting the dead, you know what I mean? Rest in peace to Black Rob, you know what I mean? We just talk, you know what I mean? We're just discussing, you know what I mean? We're just having a debate here, so, you know, it ain't no disrespect to the dead, you know what I mean?
I thank you for that. I tell people too, we just talking about facts. We not saying nothing bad about Black Rob robbed somebody. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not one of the people that, like, you died now, it's a Men in Black moment, now you ain't nothing.
Right.
We ain't talking shit about the man.
Not at all.
We just talking about what he did. But Black Rob is definitely was crazy. And like you said, the momentum after that just went nowhere. JR, you got somebody else? I know you said you.
Yeah, I got my last one, and that it's Rick James.
You'd have to just sit me down for it. We may have to do a whole show on Rick because I just know Rick was a bad.
I would just say this. When you think about Rick James now, what do you think about?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yep.
And what else?
Dave Chappelle. Rick
Dave
James.
Chappelle.
And Dave Chappelle. That's all you think about. And that's bad. And you know, in '91 he got locked up for that whole thing with him and his girlfriend holding somebody hostage for 3 days.
Forgot about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of his legacy has been stripped because of this. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think, in '90, he just was back again with this whole thing with MC Hammer when he did his sample. So he was like, yo, it was like everybody was thinking about him. Then this fool, sorry, God bless his head, no disrespect, but he gonna mess around and hold somebody hostage for 3 days. And then him and his girlfriend gets locked up for it. So right after then, it's like, it hurt him. Because, I mean, even though Prince technically hurt him, but it was like, after that, it was just like, it was no coming back from this. You know what I'm saying? It was like, after that, you don't remember him except for Dave Chappelle. That's it.
Here's the thing. He told you cocaine's a hell of a drug. So that's probably why he kidnapped somebody. I mean, you can't hold anybody responsible for what they do. And I mean, Rick probably had good cocaine. Like, we're not talking about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah. He said he used to literally spend $7,000 on coke a week.
Well, there you go. So that's good coke, and who knows what the fuck the body of us would do. Okay,
I cannot. I can't.
$7,000 of coke. You know, I said, so again, we really can't get mad at a man and his girlfriend holding somebody hostage. Not make somebody that was wrong if we on $7,000.
I can't.
You can't be mad at me. Like Bleak said, blame the mind, not the heart. Like, that's the key thing. You not blame the person.
Help me, help you.
You see what I'm saying? And Kill, and then he be wondering why people be getting at him, because he know what he doing. He just keep going and going and going and going. How is you doing?
Help
Rick
me,
James,
help
you. Get mad if you defend Rick James.
I'm not defending him, but everybody said chill, and you gonna keep going like you ain't hear nobody.
$7,000 of cocaine responsible.
I shouldn't have never told you that. I gave you more views. You know what? Kill, you're right. You're right.
With a frog outside the front of my house.
You know what? You're right. I'm just gonna drink my drink. You're right. You're right.
Me and the frog got into a fight.
You're right. You're right. Totally.
Sweet. I don't know what would happen with me with this frog with 7.
You see what I'm saying? And he keeps going. And then he does this on Twitter. He's just like this on Twitter and be mad at them fans and they be coming at him because he do this.
All I'm saying is you cannot hold anybody responsible for what they do if they're high on cocaine. That's all I'm saying.
You're right.
Just like Rick said. Did you say fuck my couch? Like, yeah, but I was high. Like you who are high, they're gonna tell you again, maybe I'm the only person who is no crackhead. They said I cannot get mad at my cousin stealing my computer if he's a crackhead. You know why? Because I've had these conversations. Nigga, why are you mad at me?
Yeah. No,
I'm a crackhead, nigga. What the fuck did you?
You are
like,
correct.
If you let a crackhead, nigga, that's on you. Like, don't get mad at him when he won't bring the shit back.
All I can think of is the Gator dance right now.
Like, you can't get mad at Gator. Like, yo, Gator stole. Yo, you stole Mama's TV. Nigga, I'm a fucking crackhead. What you say?
I'm a crackhead.
I'm done. No. I take you know what? I take Rick James back. I take it back.
There's been crackheads across America. If you know somebody's a crackhead, don't lend them your car because it's not coming the fuck back. It's them, but selling you for $10. Nigga, you know he was a crackhead. Don't lend it to him. Here you go. If you know that Rick and his girlfriend high on coke, don't go because they may kidnap you. That's all I'm saying. You have to take responsibility for it. I'm sorry, JR. People have to take responsibility for themselves. You have to.
JR, I got you.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you. I take Rick James back. It never happened. I never named him. I stopped. I'm done.
We went off the deep end.
He really did. Like, he went off the deep end, yo.
I have friends who have nothing but guns in their house. If I go visit them and they get busted, are y'all gonna be like, damn, Kill, we feel sorry for you? Or nigga, you know they run guns. Why is your 47-year-old with a kid, married ass in a basement with niggas who you know got guns?
True.
That would be my fault. Like, y'all should be mad at me. Like, yo, you done fucked up 5B to hang out with some niggas you know had guns? No, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm like, you're right. You're right. You gotta make that decision in your life. Like,
shit.
So with that said,
you're cold-blooded. But go ahead.
For the fans watching, we need to set up a GoFundMe just in case Kill go out here and do some dumb
it's
shit.
a bailout fund. Apartment 5B bailout fund.
it's all tonight.
Apartment 5B bail fund.
Yeah, Apartment 5B bail fund.
Last night,
I can't get over you saying UNT kidnapping some side chicks.
Yes, like he like completely left. Like, yo,
So thank you for reminding me about that one. So much we got to edit. With Porsche, bring it up. Porsche, go. Who you got, Porsche? Who your next word?
I don't. I actually, Shyne was my last one. and just before we finish and close up with me, I just want to say I bombarded your guys' mentions with notifications dating back from 2017 so that you guys can apologize and retract your statements, Eddie.
She been real petty tonight.
I will study
I know that's right.
I started getting these notifications and I saw.
I will study my evidence and consult my counsel on this matter.
Oh my God, really?
Tracy Lee is is going to be busy. Let me tell you, he's got 5 people to defend here.
She's not playing.
You guys really tried to say I was lying or exaggerating, and it is nothing like that.
Nope. I didn't never say you was lying. I specifically said, y'all know my brain ain't right.
Damn,
I haven't heard you talk about him on this show. That's all I said.
Fair.
On the show. I don't know about Twitter, but on the show, that's all. So that's all I was saying.
I'm just saying, I'm glad you guys all have the evidence. It's been presented to court. I'm glad. That's all.
Yo, this shit came out with the receipts. Like, we don't even need Trey on this episode because you already done the All right. Next up, I got another Philly representative, Dark Low. Now, a lot of people may not know Dark Low. He's a relatively newer MC. He's down with A.R.Ab, who is locked up right now. Really dope boy. I love Dark Low. I got a Dark Low mixtape called the Philly Bull, Dark Low. Whenever I miss Philly, Dark Low is the person who gives me that feeling of being back in Philly. Like how Portia talk about Blue, like when she listens to Blue, she feels like she's in LA. When I miss home or I listen to Dark Low, I feel like I'm right back in Philly. But he got knocked in 2019. He was arrested for tampering with the witness. Basically, somebody was going to testify against AR-Ab. I guess Dark Low, said some things that maybe he shouldn't testify against him. He got arrested for that. And then he just got sentenced this year to 7.5 years in jail for witness tampering. So, he's knocked for that. Again, when keeping it real goes wrong, I mean, it's one of those things like in Dark Low, if people want to know, this is one of my favorite mixtapes he did, Dark Timeless, with what is this dude's name? Von D, Vidon. The beats are dope. I love this joint. But then you can also always go to my website. I got this joint right here, that Philly Bull Dark Low, dope mixtape. But yeah, these places always put me in a weird headspace because it's like, whenever I think of tampering with a witness, we gonna stay on the wire. If y'all remember the first season, it was this dude named Gann that Weebay had killed. He was a witness, and he had witnessed D'Angelo doing the shooting, and they killed him and put him behind a trash dumpster. And it always is weird for me because it's like, man, I fuck with Dark Low, but dog, you really out here doing this shit. Like, you really out here, like, literally doing the shit I'm trying to stop people in the hood from doing. And it puts me in this weird headspace of how do I listen to this? And then I'm going to work trying to combat this. I mean, and y'all know I love Conway. And I don't even know if I ever shared this with y'all, but Conway, my favorite Conway song is St. Regis. And he has a line in there where he says, get you a nice pillow, put you in that casket right. The crazy thing is, say one of my kids gets murdered, I'm cutting his hair in a casket, I had to lift his head off the pillow, and that line popped in my head. And it was just like this weird space of my favorite MC is saying, put you in that casket right. And then somebody who's like a son to me, who I'm cutting his hair in his funeral, I mean, like, and I'm turning his head and he's on the pillow, and it's just like, how do I listen to this shit? And this kid got, this wasn't even Forte. He got murdered, with a straight bullet. They were shooting at somebody else. And so it puts me in these weird headspaces when shit like this happens, because we joke about when keeping it real goes wrong. But it's like, God damn, like, y'all niggas are really out here doing this shit and just happen to be dope rappers. Like that's the other part. Like, I don't even know if you're a rapper first. I feel like some of these boys are really street niggas at first. And it's like Bean said, like, yo, I feel sorry for y'all who chase this dream. Like, I'm no rapper, nigga. Like, almost like Jay-Z. Like, I'm just a hustler. It just so happens I know how to rap. Like, Beans is like, yo, I'm not no rapper. Nigga wasn't no trying to get no deal. Like, this shit just came. So, again, Dark Low just puts me in this weird space because I love hearing the music, but then it just goes against everything that I'm working towards. So, it's just a weird headspace for me. Rel, who you got up next, man?
I got ODB.
It's on my list.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, again, remind me, when did he get knocked?
Oh gosh, kill. It's so much. Like it's so much. Like there's a lot of stuff that he got knocked for. It is like
now. Did it start before or after his debut album?
It started before because his debut came out in '95. Mm-hmm. His first real high profile getting locked was in '93. So it was all through that, and his debut was good, but I feel like all that stuff overshadowed the music. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he put out the second album, and it was different. You know what I'm saying? And then he never kind of recovered from that. He wasn't on the double disc that much because he was locked up. He was locked up for the double disc, so he was on there a little bit, and and then you see even before he passed, he was just getting out of jail again when doing the stuff with Dame and all that right before he passed. You know what I'm saying? It was like in and out of jail, and it it did. It just derailed his career and his momentum, and it took the focus off the music. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more so about the craziness and not the music. And it was not about the music anymore. And say what you want about him, he made some good music, man, and it was, unfortunate.
No doubt, that's a good pick. Rec, who you got?
I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in there, man. True Life. True Life got signed to Rockefeller and was on mixtapes, was going crazy. Mm-hmm. Called a charge, and that was it. You didn't hear anything else from him.
This a rapper?
True Life was a rapper, man. He had a street buzz in New York, like a heavy street buzz. Rockefeller actually signed him,
and then he got hit right after then.
And then he got knocked.
What did he get knocked for?
Murder.
Yep.
Damn.
And his you can see that it happening with him because he had the
live wire.
He had the issue. They ran up. He had the issues beefing with Mobb Deep, and they ran up in the studio and beat up Alchemist and a couple other people with bats. He had the whole squad of Puerto Ricans with him. A whole squad. They were looking for P and them, but P and them wasn't there. Alchemist was in there.
We'll get Alchemist.
Alchemist was in there, and whoever was in there with him, they got beat down.
Got stabbed and all that.
I never heard this story about Alchemist getting jumped.
That's because True Life, they keep it quiet. They don't really talk about him.
Yeah, he had beef with Jim Jones.
Mm-hmm. Ran. They said he ran Jimmy up out of some spots.
Ran him up. Yeah. So
True Life was real, man.
Yeah, and you can see it happening. It was only a matter of time before he would, because he had a nice buzz. Like my friends in New York, they talked about him, but it was only a matter of time before he
really went in for a good while.
Yeah,
True Life was dope. He just he had too much of the streets. I think did he have a beef with Saigon too?
Was it Saigon?
It may have been, but I don't remember.
If you watch one of the beef documentaries, he talks about it, and if you see him talk about it now, he regrets the way he was. He was like, "Man, he
was wilding.
I was doing too much."
He was wilding. He had the buzz that, I would say, the same buzz that maybe a Petey Crack had, with the exception that Petey was able to get on records, and True Life was right there about to get on the records.
Mm-hmm.
Got signed. With jail
because he got signed right during the volume 1 with
that's correct.
Yeah,
that's correct.
So of course everybody shitting on Jaden, so they needed somebody, so he was kind of really up next, and he went right in. It was like, damn.
Yeah. All right, that's crazy. Ed, who you got left?
Oh wait, before you guys start with Eddie, sorry, I just have to leave, so I'm gonna say bye. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
My portrait of rugged child.
What's
up? I'll pay you what I owe you so we can get you back.
Stop it, Gil.
Oh man,
I'll be making.
he
I'll be
said
making an
yesterday's price
official.
is not today's price.
Your Force was like, nigga, you seen the numbers since I've been on here, nigga.
And Porsche, consider my official statement of retraction.
Right. You know, price the brick. Hold up. I got you tonight, Porsche. As soon as my check
Okay,
is.
take care of you guys. I'll see you guys. All right, take care.
If we squashed our beef, so.
Okay, bye.
All right, sis. Yeah, Ed, who you got left?
Yo, I got Mystical, man.
I was just looking at that.
Mystical, man, is star, man. Like, he had bangers. Like, yo, like, even if you weren't into that style of music, like, you couldn't deny, man. You couldn't deny, like, even, like, he linked up with Disturbing the Peace. He was on Move Bitch with Ludacris, like, that joint. You know, all of his singles, you know, Shake Fast, Danger, you know, all that. And, what was it, 2003, he pled guilty to sexual battery.
Yep.
And for me, I think he served 6
What
years.
does that mean in layman's terms? That rape?
That is like a
sort of rape. It's not considered rape, but it's kind of, I don't know.
It's like battery in a sexual nature. Like it has something sexual with it, but it wasn't necessarily. Because you know what happened, right? Do you know the story of what actually happened?
It's like he got head in the club or something, or he made some shit give him head or something.
No, that's Tupac.
She stole $80,000 from him, and
right, and it was his hairdresser, so he had a relationship with him.
Yeah, and I guess he made her suck his. I can't remember. Something like made her give him some head or something like that, and he got knocked for it. Yeah,
right, because it was actually recorded.
Yeah.
And they found it. They recorded, and it was found in his house.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so he made somebody give him head, but she recorded it?
No. He recorded it.
Yeah.
He recorded it. So this is a business.
You know, with the cameras up in your house, like
these niggas kept the tape like Minister Society,
basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then to me, this goes back. That's his fault. He got knocked in. Because if you want to record yourself doing a crime, well, nigga, welcome to jail.
Right.
And you know, for me, like, I don't. If he had any albums popping after he got out, like, I'm not aware of it. And you know, it's kind of one of those things, like, just the stigma around it. And you know, now, I mean, that was before cancel culture. I mean, now, you know, forget about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, people are gonna dig up everything on you. So I feel like, you know, if it wasn't a rap before, it's definitely a rap.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, Eddie? That his last album was 01.
Oh, really?
His last album was 01. His last major label album was 01. He might have indie laying around somewhere, but his last joint was 01.
Yeah, that's the only one I could find. But yeah, like you said, I mean, unless it was an indie or underground joint, but it's hard to believe that he would. Like, he was
right. He was out of there. He was out of there.
Yeah.
When I seen that, I was like, okay. And then the stuff started coming out when the trial hit, and I was like, all right, but still, like, I'm not saying 80,000 is nothing to sneeze at, but there's another way you can handle that. Like, when you at that level, when you got Pharrell on speed dial for bangers out the gate, you should have somebody to handle those things for you, a lawyer or some sort of litigation.
He really could have gave Ja, like, him and Ja could have been equal.
Easy.
Right.
They could have been equal.
We're gonna talk about that off air, right? About how you should have to set you up.
Because it just didn't sound right when it came out, but then when the story came out, it was like, okay, but come on, man. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He definitely screwed the pooch on that one, because like, hey, look, I don't know about you, Eddie, but I wasn't in the military yet, but I was DJing a lot of joints in and around the country and in a couple other spots on military bases. And bro, when I tell you, when that thing came on, out of there. Like, you throw some Mystical on and like, it's a wrap. Like, he had that, and he definitely lost. He lost all the bag on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last boy I got, another Philadelphia person, got Meek Mills. We got Dreams and Nightmares in 2012, Dreams Worth More Than the Money 2015, Wins and Losses 2017, Championships 2018. 2008 got sentenced to 11 to 23 months, followed by 8 years of probation by this judge, Janice Brinkley. Then got caught then he did something in 2009 and got 5 years parole along with it. That same judge was overseeing all his parole. 2013, violated his probation, made to take an etiquette class.
Golly.
I don't even know what that even means. Then she had blocked like that he wasn't able to travel. I think maybe he did travel some shit. So then in 2014, he got sentenced to 3 to 6 months. 2017 was arrested for assaulting 2 people and sentenced to 2 to 4 years. Then his lawyer was coming out saying all kinds of stuff that this judge wanted him to re-record a Boys II Men song and shout her out in the song. And then the lead Rock Nation, and she wanted him to sign with one of her friends. Yo, this shit crazy, man.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah, it's a whole. They had to remove all the case.
Like the judge,
she got in trouble for that.
She did.
Yeah,
it's crazy, bro.
That she was wanting him to do. A good thing to see. Watch on Amazon Prime. It's a series kind of about all of his getting locked up and everything like that. 2019, all the charges was dropped from the 2007 case. So now Meek is good. He's doing criminal justice reform. And to me, this is an example of kind of like what Eddie was saying with Remy, what Porsche was saying with Snoop. I think, especially with Remy and Snoop, post 2000, you were able to come out of jail. And I think Remy and Snoop are both known for, like, Remy was on that show with Joe Buttons. Remy isn't like a socialite all the way there yet, but I think she has enough of that, like, people care enough about her, you know what I mean, that she doesn't really have to rap to stay on people's minds. We all know Snoop don't gotta rap. I mean, this dude got shows with Martha Stewart, you know, he doing the Olympic stuff with Kevin Hart. Like, Snoop is like an icon now. It's like beyond music with Snoop. Like, Snoop never has to do anything else. I think with Meek, it's the same thing. Him being from the streets of Philly, him getting locked up all the time just made him look even more street certified. You know what I mean? So, and then now he's doing all stuff with criminal justice reform. Also, he's on Rock Nation. So Jay had, you know, everything to me in life is about how much money you got. Because if you got a good enough lawyer will beat the shit out of the case. You know what I mean? So I don't know if Meek is on Apartment 5B records, that nigga probably still locked up. You know what I mean? But he on Rock Nation, you know, he's free. You got lawyers to do all the digging and everything like that. And then the 2 other people I got, Roscoe P. Goldchain, another Philly record.
Roscoe.
That was
Re-Up Gang.
He was on that joint, Goddamn, off the Clips joint that I love. Man, that verse alone.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Re-Up Gang.
That joint was crazy. They said he got, in 2008, he got charged in a double murder, and that nigga was already in jail when he got charged with that shit. So, so just another boy who, you know, again, we done named Beans, Cassidy, Meek, Dark Low, Petey, Roscoe. Like, it's something in that Philly water that just can't keep us out the streets. And then the last person I had was G-Dep. Again, I don't know if it really messed up his career because he confessed to a murder from 17 years ago. But what I did like about his testimony was and I mean his testimony from a biblical perspective, not his testimony in court, but just the fact that you can have the world, but if you got something eating at your conscience like that, like, you know, you just can't live with yourself. You know what I mean? And I think that's the beautiful thing now, because people think I'm joking, y'all. Some of the shit that be happening in the hoods where I'm working at, I can only discuss about 10% of that shit on Twitter and 10% of that shit on this show because it's so crazy. I can't even say everything, but it's like, yo, there are demons out here, y'all. There are people who can kill babies and go home and sleep good at night. You know, that's
real.
Rub their feet under the covers.
Go home and sleep at night. So at least with this, just let me know G-Dep is human. Like, this is how you can still see some humanity in some people. Like, yo, I just can't. You know, because mad niggas was like, yo, you should have just slept with that shit. Like, yo, I ain't gonna turn myself in. They ain't even catch me. But that shows your human side. Like, yo, I killed somebody. Like, I took somebody from their family. You know, this shit been eating me for 17 years. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's the one thing I did like about his testimony was just like, yo, I just couldn't live with myself. And you don't hear that much anymore. You don't hear much of people talking about, I did fill in the blank, and now I can't live with myself. You know what I mean? So, there was a little girl, maybe 8 or 9, killed out here in MLK around the corner from my teen center. And the kids with the dudes who did it, shot her by mistake, was making fun of her on Instagram. Like, shorty shouldn't have been out there. And it's like, damn, yo, how the fuck do you kill a baby and then blame the baby?
Sick, man. Sick.
You know,
Sick.
that's a demon. That ain't nothing but a demon. So that's it for me, bro. You got any more people, bro?
Yeah, I want to touch on, I want to expound on the Meek Mill thing for a second, because it's interesting, his jail thing, because I don't want to say it helped him, but it did, because he got signed by T.I. first. He was signed he got signed by T.I. the Grand Hustle first, and then got in trouble and went to jail and lost that deal. And then eventually he got out and he got the deal with Ross. So it kind of, who knows what his career would have been like being under T.I., you know what I'm saying, in comparison to how Ross did. And I think Ross did a great job with the artists that he signed.
Oh, yeah. That was the absolutely best landing place he could have.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So that kind of, you know, I don't want to say a positive for him going to jail, but it kind of worked out for him for his career doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, I think almost anything post 2000, jail was tagged as go to jail and get shot. And like, that's right up there with dead rappers get better promotion. Like, if your career is faltering, get shot. Because think about it, 50's whole careers, I got shot 9 times. Game's whole careers, I got shot. You know, I was in the drug house, they shot me. Like, you know what I mean? So rappers were making careers off of getting shot. You know what I mean? And I think that's just the difference with 2000. One more person I forgot, I actually got his book, Shi Ali. Again, not that I thought she was gonna blow, but I'm not gonna hold y'all. I fucked with the first album with Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, the Roadrunner remix, and the Funky Lemonade remix.
Funky Lemonade.
Crazy. Those were both crazy. Shot his baby mom's, or shot his girlfriend's brother.
That's
crazy.
That's correct.
And then went on the run. I want to say he was the first rapper on America's Most Wanted. You know what I mean?
That was crazy.
And eventually, you know, got knocked. And it's crazy because, yo, I was in a barbershop out here in Waldorf, Maryland. This nigga walk in. I'm like, this nigga look like Chi Ali. My barber like, oh, what's up? I'm like, oh, shit, it is Chi. Fuck you doing in Waldorf? Like, what are you doing in Waldorf, my nigga? So I copped the book.
Bronx.
The only problem with this book, if y'all can see this, the font is so small. Like, it's an amazing. So I started it, but I need to get like some bifocals or some magnifying glass, some dollar store glasses or something to read this. Because I want to dig into it, because I'm like, that's just intriguing to me. Like, yo, I always want to know, how did this kid get down with, you know, the native tongue? Like, where did you come from? You know, same thing we were saying about Shyne being like baby meth. I thought this was Dre's little brother at first. When I saw Chi Ali, I saw Drez, I thought he was related to Drez or something. So how'd you get down with them, and, you know, the murder and being on the run and everything? And then at the end of the day, you got kids with your baby's mom, but you killed their uncle. So how does that get down at the family reunions? You know what I mean? So I still want to read the book. It's just crazy small print. So that's the last one I got.
Hey, Kill, what's the name of that book?
Another Kind of Freedom.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Ali. He's supposed to have a documentary coming out, which I thought would have been even doper too. But it kind of just, I don't know what happened with documentaries. There's a lot. D'Angelo was supposed to have a documentary that was supposed to come out a minute ago. It just like kind of disappeared and everything like this. So, but yeah, just, you know, and just crazy because like she was dope to me, man. Like I said,
she was dope, man. Kids wanted to be Chi Ali, man.
Yeah, he was a kid when he came out. Yeah. He was a kid.
Yeah, he's my age, man. So
he was. I remember in elementary school, like
had the Jordans on.
Yeah, he was that dude.
Yeah, he had it.
And then the crazy thing, if y'all remember that movie Strap with Bokeem Woodbine, he was in that.
He was in that.
Gotcha. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
this crazy situation. Rec, you got anybody? Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Did you have somebody else left?
Yeah, I got. So this is for like when Cash Money came out, right? Wayne wasn't that dude. He wasn't that dude.
No, it really wasn't.
You know, Juvenile had the first hit, but the people that I know from down south, they all the one they respected the most was BG.
Yep.
BG, yeah.
BG was that dude that they respected. He can rap, you know what I'm saying, and he's couldn't stay out of jail. He could not stay couldn't stay out of jail, and it, you know, his first. And I wasn't the biggest down south, you know, Cash Money fan. His album, his first, so that joint was one of the better releases from them. Like it was really good, and that's how you
wasn't a bad album at all.
Yeah, that's how you see him pop up on songs with Prodigy, and like he had that type of respect, and he couldn't stay out of jail. And then a Philly person that was, I know at least in Philly was like a favorite was Spade from Dutch and Spade. Everybody likes Spade.
He got knocked. No, hold on. He got knocked.
Spado got knocked for a minute and disappeared off the face of the earth for a while.
If you want it, that was my shit. I didn't know he got knocked. I got that shit sitting right in one of these boxes, bro.
Yeah, Spade.
That was my shit. Dutch and Spade.
A significant amount of time, actually, and that's just it's another Philly artist. I mean, we could have did the top 5 just from Philly. You know what I'm saying? Which is I don't know. This is not good. It's not good. So
it's crazy. Rec, you got anybody else left?
I got an honorable mention, man. Spig Nice and Pretty Lou fucked up the money for Lost Boys, robbing banks up and down the Garden State Parkway.
Whoa! They was robbing banks.
Up and down the Garden State Parkway, they had a system. They pretty much, it's banks up and down the Parkway, and they was like, look, it's right by the highway. We can get up, hit the highway, be in Staten Island in 45 minutes, back to Queens. They got knocked for that, man.
I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it.
They got knocked for that.
They got knocked for that. How we forget Steady being cool?
Steady being cool.
Oh, I thought one of y'all was gonna pull it out.
Yeah. The reason why
pause.
I don't know because what happened?
Never mind. But never mind. That's me being immature. I'm sorry. The reason why I didn't say that is because the reason they started doing what they were doing was because their career had already
right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it was on the decline already.
Yeah, it didn't mess up their career. It was already on the downfall. But that's just another 2 Philly rappers who's locked up. That just added to the list. Yo, we may fuck around and have most people locked up. Like
maybe.
We really could. So that's crazy. Eddie, you got anybody else left, bro?
I would like to flip it on my last one, and this is a situation where I feel like getting jail time actually benefited an artist, and it's Royce the 5'9". So in 2006, Royce, he got his 3rd DUI, and he got a year in jail. And so the reason why I said it actually benefited him is if he don't go to jail with that 3rd DUI, and I'm pretty sure after that he got entered in the 12-step program, right? If he don't ever go into the 12-step program, he'll never, go down that path. We never get sober Royce. Like, we don't get all these amazing albums later in his career. You know what I'm saying? He's been sober since 2012, but that was probably the point, right? I mean, when people in the program, when they talk about like been sober since, right, they're talking about like steady time. So I'm sure he was still in the program, probably still making an effort, and kind of falling off the wagon or whatnot. But that probably never happens if not for going to jail.
Yeah, Primo talks about being skeptical to work with him again after Boom because of him always being intoxicated. Like the prom, when they did the prom thing, he said that he sent him something just to see what he was, you know what I'm saying, and he trusted that he would be, you know, sober to do it. You know what I'm saying? Cream talked about that, so yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, dope pull, Eddie. Definitely dope pull. What do you guys think? Why do you think the streets, hip hop, everything, just glorifies jail so much? Like, I'll give you an example. Right before we got on this call, one of my mentees called me, and we were talking, and he got a full ride to college, paid for it. I asked him, I said, bro, anybody in the hood say congrats? Nobody. My other young boy gets out of jail for not snitching after doing 9 months. These niggas had a 3-day barbecue for this nigga. 3 days. And it's just like, yo, how does that happen? You got one kid getting a full ride to college, don't gotta pay a dime, and nobody says congratulations. Somebody gets out of jail for doing 9 months for not snitching and gets a 3-day barbecue. Why is it that we glorify jail so much, right?
Crab in the barrel mentality, man. Think about it.
Yeah.
The kid's going to college to better himself, to leave the place he's at that's fucked up. He may never come back, right? Changes the whole trajectory of his family. The people who may be sitting there not congratulating him, mad at him, looking at him, talking about, oh, he think he the smart nigga, right? That's some animosity there because they may not have had the same shot that they had, or that person had, or took the same chances, or did whatever. The kid that's in jail, he ain't going nowhere. He back in the same spot where he didn't snitch in the first place. And it's like, okay, we know we can trust you. You know what I'm saying? It's a situation to where, like, not snitching is the code, but in some cases, I'm on my Pharrell shit. I'm a father. I got kids. I got a wife. You do some shit on my block, hey, look, I might be one of the first ones to be like, yeah, it was the motherfuckers across the street, because I don't need that shit around my kids or around my situation. But I just think that people value what is normal to them, and people going to jail in the inner city, unfortunately, is more normal than a kid going to college and changing their trajectory or doing something better. Like, we don't value education. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're taught, but like, education is not valued in Black and brown community. I'll just say that. And going to jail, unfortunately, in some situations and in some places, is valued.
You know what, Rec? You make a good point, because I'm thinking of, I knew people in college that prior to them joining a fraternity or a sorority, they were nutballs. You know what I mean? Nobody messed with them. Nobody.
You say it all the time. You know, get on the yard, change your whole shit.
They cross over and become whatever they pledged. Now they the shit. Yeah. And not only do people see them as the shit, now they've got the self-confidence to be the shit. And I'm saying that because I've seen people come out of jail and seen their status elevated in the hood.
Yeah.
So if I'm a young boy and I'm like, damn, I ain't getting no respect in the hood, like, what I gotta do? Go to jail. You know what I mean? Because I just saw what happens when I come out of jail. My status gets elevated. I'm no longer looked at as a nutball no more. People respect me more, you know, whatever. So that's an ill point that you brought up, because I see that all the time. You know, I see people who can go to jail and come out and like they just you know, nut ass boy when they went in, then they come out and they don't even gotta tell jail stories. It's just the whole it's just the neighborhood just thinks, well, you ain't snitching, you just did this time in jail, you a real nigga, you held it down. That's enough to propel him forward. And that's what we're all looking for. Everybody is looking for a way for us to change what we don't like about ourselves. If we don't like our job, then we're looking for a better job. If we don't like the way we look, then we're trying to lose weight. If we don't like it, everybody's trying to figure out how to better themselves. And it's the same thing. If you're growing up in the hood and nobody's respecting you, then why am I going to school? Because that's me graduating high school isn't gonna make nobody respect me. Me going to college ain't gonna make nobody respect me. Me graduating from college, me getting a doctorate degree, nothing dealing with education is gonna help me do what I want to do. And if that only thing is getting shot, selling drugs, or going to jail, then that's what I have to do to accomplish that goal. What are you gonna say, Eddie?
Yeah, so you know, it's the whole thing, right? In the hood, you know, in these kind of neighborhoods, you know what I mean, where, you know, everyone is down and out, right? And a lot of times, like, the really only people you see with money are the dealers, are, you know, the people who are, you know, doing the wrong type of thing. But, you know, it's kind of like, man, you know, they're doing something. You know, it's better than being broke. You know, it's better than being poor. But, you know, for this topic, I want to actually shout out your project with Vegas, because this whole thing reminds me of the joint you guys got called The Hill. So The Hill is, you know, basically describing, you know, the analogy of the hill, right? You know, trying to climb up the hill, you know, going against it and feeling like, you know, you can't make it. And on that, you know, Vegas was describing, you know, he came from the same environment as Ill Will, but he decides to choose a different path. And, you know, he talks about going to college and going that route and how hard it was, but it being worth it. So, you know, I think that's a really dope song, because he kind of describes both part of that. You know, he described the struggle and talks about why that's difficult, especially in the hood, in that environment. But, you know, it's still worth it to kind of go that route. You know, and you may not get the praise. You know, no one may pat you on the back for doing it, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you got to do it for yourself if that's what you want to do. You know, because these folks, like you said, you know, they're throwing a party for the guy who don't snitch. You know, that's their morals, that's their values, like what they value from what they've also seen. So.
Yeah. And I think one thing, well, two things. It's like you see the people with the fast money, the nice things, and, you know, like, for guys, you have like women that won't mess with you if you not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like people's priorities, and it's just different, man. And it's like I had a female tell me that she couldn't mess with me because I had a 9-to-5 and that money don't come fast enough. And it's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just that mentality is just is bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things. And then another thing is, and I know you know this, Kill, a lot, because a lot of people from where we from, that they don't even want to leave out of that environment. Like, they don't, and they haven't been. I go back to a lyric comment said, where he was like, he asked a dude how traveling the world sound, only to find out he ain't been past downtown. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people like that, and that is comfortable for them. You know what I'm saying? And it's you take them out of that element, and they are like, they can't even function. You know what I'm saying? Like, I brought one of my homeboys up to college with me, and he was like, he was so out of place. He couldn't function like with that, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't even really enjoy it. And it was like, because he was so used to being around the way, and just what that encompasses, you know what I'm saying? So it's different levels to it, to why it's like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And bro, like, you know, my example, like, I decided, you know, like, senior year, I already had it in my head, man, I'm gonna join the military right after high school. And yo, did I have some of that mistake? Like, even though I wasn't involved in none of that stuff, but was still from that kind of environment. I seen it, you know. I witnessed it, and so I still kind of had a attitude about me. I had you know, a thing about me, and best believe, man, them drill instructors, they got that out of me real quick.
They smell it.
Real. Absolutely. Me, you know what I mean? Like I go in there, you know, I went in there thinking I was the shit, you know what I mean? And you know, people from all over, you know what I mean? I'm like, nah, I'm from Brooklyn, you know, whatever. But you learn quickly. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's the last thing you want to tell a drill sergeant is where you from.
Right.
It's crazy because I'm thinking of a couple of things y'all said. Rel, the point you made. I took one of my homeboys down South Street. He's like, nigga, are we fucking in Delaware? And I'm like, nigga, we haven't even left Philly yet. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hold on, man. You took him to South Street?
South Street. But here's the thing, y'all. When you think about a black community, the elementary, the middle school, and the high school are usually all within a 24-block radius. So you never have to leave your neighborhood. You know, like I was one of the like rare people who always left my neighborhood. One of my girlfriends lived in Nicetown. Another one lived in South Philly. Like I never messed with anybody around my way. So I was always out and about, but most people ain't leaving their neighborhood. It's funny, it makes me think about again, The Wire, I think it's season 2, when Bodie and somebody else are driving up to Philly. And Bodie's like, yo, what's wrong with the radio station? The guy's like, yo, because we leave in Baltimore. He's like, there's different radio stations, different cities. He's like, nigga, you ain't never left Baltimore? Like,
I ain't never left the block.
Like, you know, Dice has this, one of the few Dice Raw lines I like. He says something like, he called his uncle or something in jail. It's like, yo, something. And the uncle's like, yo, when you coming? Like saying, how's jail? And his uncle's telling him, when you coming up here? Like, you need to be up here with us. You know, which was an ill line that just hit me and made me think of one of my teens. I'm taking him to court. We don't know if he's getting locked up today or not. And I'm like, yo, you nervous? He's like, nah. I'm like, come on, nigga. Like, keep it a buck. Like, you can tell me. He's like, no, I'm not nervous. I'm like, why? He's like, yo, I spoke to, you know, our people's up in jail. They said sterling shit up there. You know, and I'm like, wait a second, nigga. I was trying to get you all boys basketball, a school for basketball, because this kid could really hoop. And you was like, I'm not trying to go to an all boys basketball school because where the girls at. But nigga, now you ready to go to a grown man's prison? Like, nigga, think about what you're saying. You know? Right. And he was like, nah, because I said it was thorough up in there. And I'm like, yo, bro, who is really gonna tell you, like, nigga, no, it ain't dope up in there.
Right.
Nobody's telling you the truth about jail. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not gonna happen. So it's just, like you said, the mentality shift. And it's just sad because so many of these rappers, you know, just getting in situations, you know, some more unlucky than other ones, but just, again, we gotta try to move away from this mentality. Because like I said, just for as much as me and Rel love our city, it's just crazy that you could do a starting 5 in a goddamn bench of rappers.
Wow.
Locked up. And again, I'm not talking about you got arrested and got out the next night. No, I'm talking about you've done a year or more. Like, that's a tough pill to swallow about our city. But Rel, I don't know if you saw it. Somebody sent me something. It was this Joan from North Philly. And she was explaining Philly. And niggas was like, yo, is it really like this? And the Joan was like, yo, if you from Philly and you see a nigga who got a better car than you, nigga, you gotta die. Or if you see a nigga fucking a joint, you want to fuck and you ain't fucking, nigga, you got to die. And I'm like, yeah, that's about right. That's about Philly. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's crazy because me and T was in Harlem, maybe like 158th, I don't know. She lives at 116th, and it's 1 in the morning. She like, let's just walk, nigga. It's 1 in the morning. In the summertime, you think I'm walking from 158th in Lenox to a fucking 116th in St. Nick? Have you lost your mind? Again, this goes back to what I told JR. When I tell niggas that I got robbed, people gonna be like, well, nigga, that's your fault. Fuck you walking from 158 to 116th at 1 in the morning. And she was like, nah, that's cool. I'm like, oh, you can't do. Let me explain this something, y'all. We walked the whole way, and not one nigga gritted. Now, gritting in Philly is where you basically stare niggas down.
Yo, I ain't heard that term in years. Kill took me home.
Where you get gritted on. Let me explain to you, we would walk through blocks in Harlem, and I'm not exaggerating. It'd be 50 niggas on 50.
Yep.
Nobody paid no attention to me in time. It was like we wasn't even there.
Nope.
Well, please explain to the fucking listeners. If you are at 15th and Lehigh, if you get off the train at the North Philly station at 15th and Lehigh, I swear to you on my life, by the time you get to 13th and Lehigh, a bottle has been thrown at you at 1 a.m, especially if you with your girl. And your girl is cute. Oh, best believe niggas gonna be like, oh, look at her fat ass, or woo, 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 woo. Like, bro, you are not gonna get 2 to 3 blocks before a nigga has already, her man pussy, he ain't gonna do nothing, fuck that nigga. Trust me. So it just showed me how crazy the difference between Harlem and North Philly is. Because I'm like, yo, I can't believe we really walked 25 blocks. Nobody bothered us. Nobody looked at us. Nobody said anything to us. Nothing. Like, that could not happen in Philly. And I swear to y'all, it's 50, 60 niggas on some of these Harlem blocks. It could just be 5 niggas outside the Chinese store in North Philly. Just 3, 4 niggas outside. You ain't gonna make it. If you gotta go from 15th from Lehigh to, if you're going up, that's North Philly. If you're going down, you're going to Puerto Rican land. You ain't getting from 15th going that way to 10th, and you ain't going this way from 15th to 20th without, and it's you and your girl at 1 a.m, my nigga, you get robbed, jumped, and you may get killed. Truth be told.
Hey, bro, you're not lying. And bro, we from uptown. I don't even know if you can do that uptown without something happening to you.
Wow. In my day of 89, when Cheltenham Movie Theater, that was the only movie theater for Mount Airy, East Mount Airy, Germantown, North, Dogtown, Nicetown, East Oakland, West Oakland. You talking 12 different neighborhoods coming to one movie theater. Niggas will be getting robbed every night, especially if you did that 10 o'clock movie and you getting out at midnight. Nigga, you are getting robbed getting on that 6 or getting on that C bus. Easy. And you wouldn't be able to do that walking up Ogons Avenue that time of night. No. So it just to show you the mentality of why maybe so many of our Philly people are locked up, because it's something that's like, and Meek said this with Charlamagne. He said, yo, bro, I got a best friend. We out here in the Bahamas. I'm with Jay. We with millionaires. I asked my best friend to come. This nigga said, nah, he gonna stay out north. Like, yo, we out here in the Bahamas, millionaires, women, and you're choosing to stay.
His mentality.
You don't want to get on this. You don't want to get on this private jet with us, bro. You don't. And that's the thing. And Meek said it's like a religion. It's like trying to explain to a Christian that Jesus ain't real. Trying to explain to a Muslim that Allah ain't real. Like, this is a religion, and you can't get people out of that religion. You can. That's why I was saying with Black Rob, it may have been a situation where, I'm living life, but I'm bored. Like, yo, Meek, like, this is cool and all, doing shows and everything and smashing joints, but where the action at? Where the what if I get shot tonight at? You know what I mean? And some people want that. That's they turn. You know what I mean? That gets their juices flowing. So all that to say, man, it's just crazy that, so many rappers have had their careers sidelined. And I mean, again, what could Slick Rick have been? What could have Beans have been? You know what I mean? What could some of these MCs have been? If it didn't happen to them. Rel, you got the shirts on tap now, man. Tell them all about the shirts, where they can get them. Let's go with that.
Yeah, Fair Grade on Instagram. I got a lot of stuff coming up, man. Like, Kill kind of motivated me for real. I got some new hats coming, some more shirts. Yeah. My daughter's designed some shirts that's coming out, so it's up. You know what I'm saying? Links in all my bios. Uptown J Ben on the gram, JBen215 on Twitter.
And explain to them what the first T-shirt says.
All right, so we had a conversation and we were talking about literary devices used in hip hop that we say stuff, but we really don't. A lot of people say stuff and they really don't know what it means. So, Kill gave me the idea, to explain it, give an example. So the first one is alliteration, and on the front of the shirt it just has the definition, and then I give you an example, and it's the example I gave was part of a verse from Rakim, Let the Rhythm Hit Him, and The next one I'm doing is metaphor, because we confuse metaphors and similes. So it was just, you know what I'm saying, just informative. I was, you know, I English major in college, and I, you know, taught special ed English for 12 years before I got this new job. And so when I would hear some of that stuff, it just would strike a nerve, because I'm like, that's wrong, you know what I'm saying? But it also gives you a greater appreciation for some of your favorite artists, the way they were able to use these devices. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And you know, what really got my, you know what I'm saying, got my brain moving was KRS-One's poetry, because he used a lot of like, if you really break down, he used a lot of literary devices. And this was, when did that song come out? This is 1986. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, when you look at that, it's people now that can't do that and can't even be close to doing that. You know what I'm saying? So that was the idea. So, you know, I actually sold a few shirts, and I sold other stuff that was already on my site from people that follow Apartment 5B. Apartment 5B being on here is like, really, and I'm not saying this because y'all my people, but it's really like boosted my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it boosted a lot. It motivated me on certain things, and then it opened me up and connected me with different people that I wouldn't have interacted with if I wasn't a part of this podcast. So I'm appreciative of that.
That's real shit,
man. That right there, man, warms my heart, because again, this was a dedication to my mother-in-law's apartment in Harlem. You know, and that's how her house was. You know, it's just like, you know, you come through, you need to stay for a while. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so again, I love seeing everybody win. Like, that's just my thing. My mentor taught me, if you winning but your people ain't, nigga, then you ain't winning. So to see Rel popping with the new house, the new job, the t-shirt line popping, Wreck, this nigga on 8 different radio stations. Eddie got freestyle, JR, this nigga doing shows at Duke University, even though I don't fuck with them Blue Devils, but still, you know what I mean? So I just love seeing people win. So I mean, that, like I said, that just warms my heart. Rec, let them know what radio station you on this week, where you at, where you
I got to give a quick caveat to Rel, man, because I remember my first show sitting in my kitchen in Fort Knox, Kentucky. And now I'm sitting in like my little recording studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rel, I'm telling you, we all feeling how you feel, because we all sat in that space. You know what I'm saying? The first time on the show. So, bro, yo, I already talked to you about the shirts I'm grabbing, but yo, congratulations on that shit, man, because that's a big move, and yo, it's gonna move crazy for you. So trust, I got you. Let's see, Instagram, you can catch me at DJ Rec1NE. Twitter is at DJ Rec1. I just picked up the throwback mix, man, for K102 in Louisville, man. I just sent that mix off today, man. Like, bro, I'm telling you, blessings, man. This whole shit, I don't know what it is, but it's like Kill said, it's a family vibe and just things happening, man. I wouldn't have got that look, honestly, if it wasn't for that, because he heard another mix based off another show that I started doing, because Kill said, nah, man, your shit is dope. Keep doing it. JR hit me like Eddie knows. JR knows. So just keep doing what you're doing. Dallas Fort Worth Sundays, I think that comes on at 5. It's called the Dallas Fort Worth St. Louis Network. And then I got my Texas Fleet radio show. That is every Saturday at 8. Still working on an album, got some production on a couple of joints. Me and Vegas working. Me and my brother Chaden about to drop something that's crazy. Eddie knows. We just gotta wait on a few things. Yep. So fourth quarter for me is gonna be big, man, because I got a lot of things that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So just keep your ears tuned, man. You'll see it. You'll see it. Sir. Appreciate the love, man.
All I can sit back and do is smile, because again, Rec, I remember you was talking about making beats, and you went from talking about it to making y'all's album. You got like 2 tracks on your album. It's crazy because I was making beats and stopped, and then I sent you some stuff, and you and Ev was like, "Yo, why you stopped?"
Right.
Yeah, like my man Manfred Huzano said, I love seeing my niggas win. There's nothing that makes me happier than that. Eddie talking all about freestyles. You got the site up, you vamped it and everything. Tell them about freestyle.
Yo, so going along with what Rel and DJ Rec won, the freestyle thing, like that was something, when we had started promoting Trey Lee, you know what I mean, and I kind of jumped in, we got our word of mouth thing, and Kill gave me the idea. It was like, yo man, like you should do something with independent artists and stuff, because it was just something I was already doing naturally, but not officially. So I launched my website. That was like right in the middle of the pandemic, you know what I mean. Recently revamped it, relaunched it this week, you know what I mean. It was just hard for me to maintain as it was, and now I revamped it, you know what I mean. I'm putting out content. I got 4 reviews, relaunch week. This week I got 4 new reviews up. One of them is Killin' Vegas, you know what I mean. I got Yao G's, you know what I mean, another brother of the Apartment 5B podcast. I reviewed his joint. I Am God, who's been on the podcast, so you know what I mean. I got a lot more to come, and yeah, man. I'm link up, trying to do some interviews. You know what I mean. I've been already getting some submissions, so the website is up. You know what I mean. I got a submission form on there, or like I said last episode, if you already connected with me and you just want to DM me directly, no doubt. Everyone else, hit up freestyles.com, and I got a submission form on there. And you can catch me on Twitter at EddieB80 and Instagram at Freestyle.
No doubt. JR, tell them everything you and Elise got going on.
Oh man, like y'all just bringing back memories. Like when Kill hit me up in 2015 with the whole Leon Bridges thing, and to see where we at now, and to see all of this is just crazy. I never thought this could even happen, you know what I mean? And it's crazy, and it's just to be where I'm at with this whole thing with Elise, and it's just, I never thought even doing a podcast before. I was just like, nah, and Kid was like, nah, come on, like you know your shit, so just talk. And to know that where I'm at now, and for him to say, yo, just do your thing, like just come on and talk about R&B, you like to talk about it, so just talk. And to see where the hell I'm at now, this is crazy. Like me and Elise, honestly, well, we haven't put it out yet, but Bowlegged Lou from Full Force, he has a radio show, and he found out what me and Elise, what we do, and we're actually the first guest on his new show.
Oh
yeah. So we recorded it. We already did it. We waiting on them to edit it. The producer loved me and Elise on the show. He was like, y'all dynamic is sick, and I don't know what he wants to do, but we in talks of doing something with that. Definitely our next thing is October the 9th. We're gonna be doing a live show at Duke. And how that came, which was crazy, but yeah, we got that, and we just, we loving to catch that, and to catch that minis that you guys have been on, you know what I mean. Rack, I'm waiting for you. Rao, we finally gonna get it done. We will. But to catch that minis, I love that. I love that a little bit more than to catch that, because that is like with celebrities and all that, but I like to catch that minis to talk with y'all about your favorite songs, and to know, you find out a little more about a person through the music that they love. So I enjoy that, you know what I mean. But just the R&B reps on Twitter, R&B representatives on Instagram, JR's World of Soul on Twitter, JR's World of Soul on Instagram, Naturally Elise on Twitter, Naturally Elise on Instagram. But the RBReps.com, check our website out. All our stuff is there and all that good stuff.
That's dope. That's dope. You already know this with me, Kill 889 Twitter, IG, will make beats for food. I will check y'all next week. What's the scenario? How do I forget this every time? See this one?
I gotta get.
I got you, bro. I got you.
The show is sponsored by. So what's the scenario? It's time for another game. Me and
it really is.
Yes.
This is not happening this time. We gonna pick a weekday or something because we gonna play until I win. So this midnight. We are playing this until I win. Somebody fucking lie on their ticket. Like, look, nigga, we've been playing for 5 hours. Let this nigga kill this year. LL got me like, let him win. So, so what's the scenario? Check it out at sowhatgames.com. Use promo code apartment5B with free shipping. Very dope game. Trust me, you will be arguing all night about it. But yeah, man, I appreciate the hell out of y'all. Again, I tell people all the time, when I made Apartment 5B, it was not meant for the same people to be on every week. That was absolutely what I did not want. I wanted it to be different people every week. But I always tell people, you want to hear God laugh, tell them your plans, because this is the way that it was supposed to be. So again, I appreciate the hell out of y'all. I couldn't do this without y'all. Y'all not gonna make a nigga cry, so I'm gonna just call this a day right now.